prepaid, and Circle K. Visit gta.net for more information.
A manhunt continues in Canada for the men accused of stabbing 10 people to death in an Indigenous community yesterday.
Police are searching for two fugitives, Damian Sanderson and Miles Sanderson. Both have been charged with murder in the deadly assault on the James Smith Cree Nation, which said in a statement that the attack could have been drug-related. Police say some of the victims may have been targeted, others appear to be random. Despite having the same last name, reports in Canada reveal police have only described any possible relationship between the two men as unclear. Authorities add they've been looking for Miles Sanderson since May when he failed to keep up meetings with a parole officer. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
ISIS is claiming responsibility for a suicide bombing outside the Russian embassy in Afghanistan's capital, killing 2 diplomats and at least 1 Afghan civilian, believed to be the first attack on a foreign diplomatic mission in Kabul since the Taliban seized power a year ago after the U.S. withdrawal. The UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss will be Britain's new prime minister after winning the ruling party's leadership vote.
UK faces a stagnant economy, high inflation, including soaring energy prices, for which he offers a good dose of free market religion.
I know that our beliefs resonate with the British people. Our beliefs in freedom, in the ability to control your own life, in low taxes, in personal responsibility.
Truss succeeds Boris Johnson, who stepped down in July amid those various scandals. She's expected to pick up where he left off on foreign policy. She's strong in her support of Ukraine against Russia, critical of the Chinese Communist Party, and for more defense spending.
Fox's Greg Palcott in London. Johnson to make his resignation official tomorrow in a visit to the Queen, who will then meet with Truss. And Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Day. This is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Day. This is Clara Manglania from Security Title. A power of attorney can be a useful tool in a real estate transaction, but if abused, it can result in devastating loss. Choosing your representative should be done with the utmost care and should be very specific about the powers being granted. To mitigate loss, the team at Security Title confirms with the owner prior to using a power of attorney to sell the property. Each transaction is unique. Let the professionals at Security Title use our experience to facilitate a secure closing. We are here to help.
Day and good morning, Guam. It's 6:06 on Tuesday, September 6th. I'm Donna De Jesus with a look at your local news on The Point. The autopsy has been completed for 69-year-old Cesar Dizon, who was stabbed to death inside DOC last month. Investigators say Dizon was stabbed 10 times. 2 knives were used in the killing, were confiscated, and a butter knife that had serrated edges was found inside the suspect's locker. While the killer, MB Koto, awaits his day in court for the murder, investigators at the prison continue looking into the officers that were on duty that day. DOC spokesperson Major Anton Ugin says they are looking at the policies and procedures to see if anything was violated or if there was anything the officer could have done or was required to do that would have prevented the situation from happening. Koto was serving time for a 2017 aggravated assault conviction at the time of the stabbing. He has since pleaded not guilty to the murder charges. And a man is in jail after he assaulted a woman known to him for a second time. A woman told police on Saturday that Paul Palsis came home from work highly intoxicated and began arguing with her over a child. Court documents state that Palsis tried to punch the victim on the head while she was carrying the baby. The victim managed to run out of the residence and into a neighbor's home while Palsis chased her. The victim told police that there was an earlier incident 2 months prior when Palsis tried to choke her, causing her to drop the baby. He was arrested and charged with family violence as a misdemeanor. We'll have more news after this.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
A resolution was recently reached between students and the administration of JFK High School in Tamuning about school uniforms. GDOE Acting Superintendent Francis Santos confirmed yesterday that the principal and students were able to meet a resolution last Thursday, but he was not specific about the resolution to the matter. Students were calling for a change in the school's dress code when complaints surfaced on social media citing sexism towards girls. One student shared that more than 50 girls were sent to the office on August 25 due to their wearing short shorts. In response, a petition was created that garnered over 1,500 signatures. The petition states females should be able to wear something that makes them feel comfortable. Santos says a meeting has been scheduled that includes himself, GDOE Deputy Superintendent of Operations Erica Cruz, and high school principals to follow up on whether other issues arose regarding school uniforms. And with 40% of Guam's registered voters casting ballots during the primary, it drew the smallest percentage of voters of any election in the last 30 years, with Typhoon Omar being the reason for the low voter turnout in 1992. This year, participation was strongest in the central villages of Agana Heights, Hagåtña, and Sinajana. At the other end of the scale, the lowest participation was in Dedido, Jigo, and Tamuning. UOG professor Ron McNinch says different dynamics in the villages affect voter turnout. He says people tend to vote in the northern villages when their neighbors and people around them talk about the elections, building an I want to participate energy. He adds that central villages tend to be more traditional and loyal and vote in every election. Guam Election Commission Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says that part of the reason for the low percentage turnout was that so many people are registered to vote. Guam's number of registered voters is over 58,000 and is the second highest in history. McNinch says general elections attract more voters than primaries and adds that although turnout was low in the primary this year, Guam still has higher voter participation than most of the United States. And those were your top stories on The Point. Now here's Ray with your weather.
Yeah, somebody got to come on and say it. Maybe there just wasn't enough. It never hit that kind of primary. There's a carnival atmosphere crescendo that we used to have. And you know why that was missing. You know why that was missing? Because guys like Carl Gutierrez weren't actually running for governor. Guys like Ricky Berdallo weren't running for governor. I mean, you want to talk about an energized base, an energized crowd like we used to have back in the day. That's how you do all of that stuff. And these guys, they're not in the game anymore. So
we're still buzzing from it.
Everybody's sitting around going, come on, impress me. It's time to impress me now. And maybe I'll get out there and get that vote. Was it the idea that, well, we've got fewer voters because we've got more registered voters? Yeah, I'm going to be scratching my head on that one for a long time to come here this morning. 6:11 in the morning, and Donna was asking about weather. Yes, there is going to be weather here today. We brought some in from the weekend. So it was grill. Oh, my God, grill marks yesterday. Can you see? Let me, if I take this off, can you see where my sunglasses were?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was like everywhere I was going this weekend. It was
the Dos Equis guy, dude.
Total grill marks, and I took advantage of it. Mostly sunny and crinkly with highs near 88 degrees today. There's southeast winds, about 5 miles an hour, becoming calm this afternoon. Partly cloudy and overnight lows of about 77 degrees this evening. We've got mostly sunny skies again in the forecast tomorrow. It says highs near 88 degrees with a heat index over the next couple of days is going to feel like 98. That is more than anything else. That's one of the reasons why I went to the beach. It's the Gibson rule. If you got to be hot at the beach. But the house has just been unbearable. I don't know. Maybe I got to call the aircon company and see if there's something broke with it because I can't make the house cold. It just so yeah. That's why I'm lurking over at the beach on the day after Labor Day. Partly cloudy in the forecast for Wednesday night. Overnight lows of about 77 degrees. And they say partly sunny by the time it gets to be Thursday. Thursday. Keep an eye out for that sunrise this morning. Was it 10 after 6 o'clock in the morning? Some great-looking sunrise photos from Sherry here. Do I have those up on the screen? I did before. Let me see if I can. I was kind of hoping for more. I was putting some water in my thing, and I looked out the glass brick that we use for windows around here, and I thought, well, color good. I don't know if it turned in anything else, but thanks very much, Sherry, for sending that over. She also sent over a picture. You see this? Madeline Z. Berdalio, ladies and gentlemen. We have a Madeline Z. Berdalio sighting. Now, that was not, however, at the Liberation Picnic. Apparently, or I'm sorry, the Labor Day picnic, the caption reads, while in VA for the birth of our grandson, we ran into both Lou and Madeline at the Liberation Picnic. But only got the picture of Madeline, I guess, is the deal.
No, so Lou took the picture.
Oh, maybe that's right. Lou or Frank Uggan took the picture. Not really sure. Are we? What do we get? Look at the composure of this picture. Thank you, Real Joe. Sunset tonight's supposed to be at 6:29. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together here, brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 68 years.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger licking good.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Thank you. 6:15 in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also brought to you by GRMC, Guam Regional Medical City. They are your healthcare partners.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
There we go. 6:16 in the morning. Welcome to the program. All of my awakening, ultra mega existential threats to the democracy and the republic for which it stands, according to Joe Biden. How you doing here on a Tuesday? I got to make sure I got to say that. I got to get that part right out of my mouth here. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. Sarita's already done it a couple of times on the social media, going, "It's Tuesday. Yeah, but it was the weird thing. I get into traffic this morning, turn on the radio, and they're playing Coast to Coast, and I'm going, something's unusual. We don't normally play Coast to Coast on a Monday. And then I remembered, that was yesterday. And that groovy feeling that I had yesterday morning when the alarm started going off at 4 o'clock, and I leaned over, and I did not hit the snooze bar. I hit the off bar on the alarm, so I don't need to get up. Of course I did. I was awake already, so I just kind of putter around the house waiting for something to happen, or, with a phone call or an invitation to go someplace. And then it got hot, and I took matters to my own hands and decided, as I said, if you got to be hot on the beach. And it was absolutely gorgeous at most of the places that I went to yesterday. Anyway, 6:17 in the morning. A whole lot of adventures here over the weekend. Hopefully you got into some as well. We'll go over that in a couple of minutes. But let me first, make some introductions around here. Real Joe gets the phone when you call at 888-8255, 888-TALK. Now, you might be wondering where that moniker Real Joe comes from. And every once in a while, we should explain things. There's a lot of new people that are moving in and out.
Yeah.
of Guam, and I understand a growing number of people that are leaving Hong Kong. Government crackdowns, cost of living, all kinds of other stuff. There's a bunch of people that are leaving Hong Kong. Maybe they're coming to Guam. A lot of military that are making their way to Guam for whatever reason, as a hangout. We'll let you know when the big charcuterie competition between Air Force and Navy is going to be, and we'll see what the Marines are going to be adding to that. Understand that we had some people in the Army that said, hey, we want some too. Come on, we're the ones with the THAAD guys. We're the ones who's going to protect your charcuteries from the Russians and the North Koreans and the Chinese.
Missiles.
We will. The missile guys, right? At any rate, so we call him Real Joe Cruz because it's kind of a local joke here. There's a lot of Joe Cruzes. You open up the phone book or whatever the voting
It happened
record.
to me again last night. Ray.
Did it really?
Reservations for dinner. Someone took my reservation. So I'm not going to use it anymore, man. I'm going to make up a name or something, some out of this world name, and because if I say Joe Cruz for 2 or 3, I show up and it's gone. There's another Joe Cruz in my chair.
I'm thinking maybe something that sounds like a gaffagumas. What do you think? I mean, it sounds like it's a Chamorro word. There should be one of those things, familia nagafagumas or Joe.
I'll do that, familiar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, we'll ponder something. Where did you eat? Where were you going to go eat with your reservation got jumped?
Some steak place.
Yeah. Was it the one with the nice knives?
No, it wasn't.
Because a buddy of mine took me to Longhorn a couple of weeks ago,
No.
and I swear to God, it took the will of a saint to leave that knife there. Because I'm looking at that and going, I need like five, six of these, six for a setting at the house would be absolutely perfect.
Collect them all, Ray.
Knives. I know. Why can't I buy things on my own? Donna D is going to get the news and headlines for you. It's another one of those Mondays, Tuesdays, where you kind of look at days worth of newspapers and go, all right, where in all of these newspapers is the big news story?
I know, right? I was thinking, I'm going to have something to write.
Because there's so much.
Where is everything?
There's not crap here. The front page of the Pacific Daily News is a piece from Steve Limtiaco about how he cannot get an electrical course over at GCC because there aren't enough guys like him or girls like him that want to take these courses. So he wants to get it for enrichment, but there should be a lot of people that want to take these courses so you can make $18 an hour on base
or more.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't make it through the first couple of rounds of construction without killing yourself or destroying expensive equipment, seems to me that you ought to be able to earn your way up to that kind of money. So what's the deal? Why aren't people getting themselves upskilled at GCC so that they can be contributing members of the community? You know why? Because meth is cheap. Because meth and all of that stuff. We get that story here this morning about the guy. Man, I'm sorry, I'm like that when I drink beer and smoke marijuana. Dude, pick one. What is the matter with you?
Wow.
Did we not train you effectively in high school about how you're supposed to take your poisons? I don't know. There's that other story here. Nathaniel Salas Dula asking, where were the voters? Where were the voters? I don't know. At this point, I'll paraphrase Hillary Clinton. What difference does it make? What difference does it make? We got low voter turnout for the primary, and I think a lot of that had to do with towards the end, kind of Mike's lackluster campaign. There just didn't seem to be a whole lot going on other than the unicorn waves. I wasn't feeling that. I think maybe a lot of their supporters weren't necessarily feeling that. And then you got the all in, and they were doing waves. I love the juxtaposition here. The waves that they would do like in front of campaign headquarters, right? And they got all these guys waving all the way down to where Chief Charlie's was or whatever, and they're waving. And everybody across the street, look at us, we're all in. Life is good. Guam is great. And then across the street, there's the beggars that are waving too. They're out there, hustling for a quarter from the drivers, going, this is a perfect example of the two Guams that we live on. Anyway, so I know where the voters were. The old school, old guard, the voting community went out and voted, and we just got to do a better job of telling everybody that they got to get out there and do some kind of a vote. Now, it might be a little bit more exciting now with some of the things that are going on here, because I don't know if you're seeing some of the same things. You remember that old the Reese's peanut butter commercials when we were growing up Saturday mornings? Hey, you got chocolate in my peanut butter. Well, you got peanut butter on my chocolate.
Yes.
That's what we've got going on here. We've got the oh my gosh. Well, you've got some Camacho Ada on my San Nicolas Matanani sign, and Mike's going, hey, wait a second. We've got some San Nicolas Matanani on Camacho Ada signs. You see what's happening here? Yeah. And I love the way that everybody's kind of tap dancing around this.
So is that the definitive message of approval?
Hold on.
No.
Wait. It's Guam Daily Post wrote about it. And naturally, according to Phil, we reached out to Mike San Nicolas and Sabrina Salas Montanari, but they did not respond at press time. They haven't responded to you guys in weeks that I recall. Until when it became very, very clear that the Post was looking to torpedo that campaign, I think they stopped returning phone calls right around there. Anyway, team supporters to mark a conclusion of the Adeloop run. So where are they getting their information? Where did Phil get his information on what Mike and Bree were going to be doing? From Sean Gumatau over to Camacho Ada Place. And they're saying, I think we're all looking forward to the delegates meeting Thursday night with his supporters. We're waiting for that to get anything official. And what they're referring to is the Biba and all of that stuff. The thank you get-together. It's going to be Thursday, 6 until 9 at Good Times Lounge in Tamundi.
Oh, great place. Yes, I've been there, man. Party time.
Is that the new cha-cha place? Is that the new kind of double A?
It could be, man. Very well.
I got my ass kicked in double A a couple of times. Yeah, by girls.
It'll happen.
Real weird. Anyway, so we got it. We know it's going to be good because there is the possibility that there could be some kind of answer to whether we're just done or we might be done, but we humbly ask that you support the Camacho Ada team, which is, I think, what's going to be happening at that. Would not surprise me if Felix and Tony showed up, and the wives showed up at Good Time. And we'll baila y cha-cha all night long. 6:24 in the morning of the Ray Gibson Show. Speaking of baila y cha-cha, people.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. You wanna go where people know people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
No, that's all I got, guys. That's it's 4 days worth of goofing off starting Thursday, and it gets to be Monday and Monday night, and now it's Tuesday morning, and that's all I got. I'm spent. Are we done now? Can we?
Yeah, man.
Call it a day.
Shut it down.
All right. Let me. The other reason why I got to hem and haw for a second is because it occurs to me that I forgot to open up a browser so I could see who was playing around on the Facebook side. I might be able to take a look at the YouTube side, get started with those guys first, as you know, just by way of doing something different. Who's your Big Daddy 06 at number one here? I got Kitsuto in Japan saying, "Ohayou gozaimasu." Ooh, this is bad. 140 yen, almost 140.56 yen at Yokosuka. 138.35 to the dollar. The line is long, and they put a cap to change. Wow, they're putting a cap on this at 1,000 American dollars. That's all you're going to be able to exchange. I don't know, bro. That's like $1,000 in Japan. Well, that's like Saturday night, bro.
Yeah,
you might need. I might need to call somebody. Where's the other line? How do I get into the other line to go and look at the other place? Keep an eye out for VFW Post and see what they've got to say about maybe getting a winner on Friday night. Wasn't really paying much attention because you know why? I was thrilled out of my mind here. Two things that just thrilled me like crazy, Real Joe. One is the price of gasoline dropped to $5.15 a gallon. And some of you might be saying, you know, Ray, you're pretty crafty at things like this. Can you remind us when we might have seen gasoline around $5 $5.15 a gallon. Yeah, I did. I'll take a look at it and share that with you in just a couple of minutes. And then the other thing is they finally took down the god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence.
Is that what went down with that traffic, man?
Yeah, but they put it back up. They have erected, and it's no longer just the god awful butt ugly chain link fence. I think now it's just god awful or butt ugly. I don't know. We might.
Mission accomplished. Piss off Ray.
I'm going.
I like it, man.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Is we're stuck with that now. It'll be another. That thing has been up there for 20 years almost. It went up in the middle of the Camacho administration.
They're going to name that place after you, man.
Oh, please.
One day.
So that went up in the middle of the Camacho administration, was there all the way through Eddie's 8 years, and it's been there all of Lou's 4 years. And so this is progress. We've taken down the green version of it and put up the regular chain link fence that's now going to be there for, who knows, another 10 or 15 years.
Good job, guys.
Hey, wait. Way to go. Way to go. What can I say? I'm going to have to pick up where we are here. Who's your Big Daddy 06 on the other side? Okay, that was it for now. Let me see. Nick Perlowski, I got Pam Duvall watching the program. The Anthony Bennett, Lohan Duenas, Big Dennis Benzer.
Hi, DB.
He had
a rough weekend?
The only had a hard time this morning on Wordle.
On Wordle.
Yeah, it's how do we say it? It's Wordle in 7. The bad news is Wordle doesn't go up to 7 here. I got let me see, John Ray, Sherry Uriorty, Rico. Hey, big man, Rico Blankenflor.
Hey, big man.
All right, you know how I never ask for anything on the radio, or pretend that I never ask for anything on the radio.
You don't have no pugwa, right?
I'm out of pugwa.
Poor guy.
I am. Bro, I'm down to the shakes.
Yeah.
I'm down to the shakes at the bottom of it. You know, it's always got
help our guy with some pugwa.
You know, you going through you move the dryer to see if any of the old ones might have fallen under there, something
Desperado.
like that. Well, hey, man, I'm there. Pretty Sarita Garin online. Let me see. Colin Clark wishing everybody a good morning. Nick Perlowski's making his hoik noise. JB St. Nicholas online. And MJ Ray. Just good to see Nate Horn saying, Happy Labor Day hangover. Okay, who went to the beach yesterday thinking it was Labor Day yesterday?
Was it yesterday or was it the day before? Yeah.
What's that?
He stopped making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. I did not. I didn't even look in your direction when I said it.
I saw your eyes.
But now that I have uttered it, and you basically outed, you doxed yourself on this.
Because I saw you were going to say it anyway.
Of course.
So I might as well say it before you say it.
Thank you so much. That's generally the way it works here. So yeah, there might have been a lot of people that were thinking. I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you were going to go.
So a buddy of mine, nice guy, Matt's his name, and he's got this little girl, Ruby, and Ruby had a birthday party. It was a little pool party.
Barbecue?
No, holiday party.
Oh, okay. Hot dogs.
Yeah, yes.
Burgers.
KFC. Yeah.
I think they call them wieners.
There was nothing to find.
Wieners.
So I get, but it's in deepest, darkest Telefofo. And so I finally, I swear to God, it's one of those places. And I think you think you know Guam. You think you know when somebody says, hey, there's going to be a party, Telefofo. And you're already in your head, you know exactly where you think you're going. Nope, not this. Not this guy. It's kind of on the fringe grass of the Windward Hills Golf Course. They're a real nice place. But I thought, I'm just going to go in and say my hellos and do that kind of thing. Drop off a box of seltzers, because that's what people drink these days. And I finally found the place. And I thought, maybe I'm just going to stay here, because I don't know if I could find my way out of where we are here. And there was nothing user friendly about the way to my bro's house. But it was a good time. It's a good time. I'm so glad that I ended up doing that, because I just don't know that I could. I don't know how do I want to say this, that I could look like that there were people that I really didn't want to run into, but yeah, that looked like, okay, I can tolerate this.
I know that exact feeling.
Yes, exactly. All right, so we got Joette Cruz is there, Henry Manglonia, Buenas and Hafide, the hot mom of the program, hot sister of the program, Pam Duvall. Wishing all of the beautiful people here a beautiful morning. Brennan Fausto is there. Greg Fausto. Buenas and Hafide to both of you guys. I got Scott K. Armstrong, Manny, and Ning Rages. That's Sandra's mom and dad. Auntie Bennett, Bill Petit, Francis Salas saying good morning. Mark and Francis Ishmael. Long weekend hangover, he says. You know what? You know how you get over that? Start drinking again.
There you go.
Start drinking again.
Pop them.
It's 6:30. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, as the man says. Let me see. There's Sandra Rages. Biba to you. Magandang umaga. Point Gang says, pretty Sarita. Tossie Patrick is there. Tossie is the Chamorro word for?
Water?
Thank you.
Okay.
Jay Nauta is there. Patrick.
Saw how confident I was, man.
That's the whole thing.
Water?
That's, you have a little confidence in your voice. That's what it takes to really manage to convince people on all of that. Rico Blancaflor is online. I got Patrick A, Martha Toves, Greg Basnight, Morning Guam, and all the Point Familia. Good to have Priscilla Castro Torres watching the show. There's Valerie S.A. Untalan and James Howard saying wake and bake. What? James Howard on the Facebook side?
Oh, wow. Still alive, huh?
Oh, wow. How did that happen? And he is not checked in on the YouTube side. Slow golf clap for you. Now, Marla Carbolito, buenas zenofade to Auntie Bennett, who says, vote for change. My bro, Dean Bates, is online here this morning. That's nice. Let me see. Peter Richard Scrobe. Good to have you.
Good morning, sir.
I saw your pictures over at the Liberation. The Labor Day picnic. Yeah, we're out there looking at beautiful people. That's nice. Matthew Bennett, Tommy Bernardo saying good morning. Ray Gibson, Donna D, Real Joe, Reggie, Christy Mendoza is watching the show. My bro, Bob and Connie Bartonico are online. Evelyn Bernardo, Marla Carbolito, Heather Perez, Joy Unpinko. Good to have Mercy Wenzel online here. A lot of interesting stories floating around, Mercy. Good job. Jennifer Leon Guerrero Mendiola and Jose Tetpahago Jr. James Howard says, in appreciation of Labor Day in the States, I will also take today off for unity and freedom. God, I love this. The man is all about sacrifices. That's the...
It's the kind of leadership we need,
Could
Ray.
we love him more? Robert G. Tacloban is online. I don't know how to actually pronounce that. Tacloban. But that's my buddy Rob.
Good
Rob
attempt, though, Ray.
Good to see you out there. I'm still kind of upset about the last time we saw each other. We were in the parking lot over at Home Depot, and he said something along the lines of, wow, you let yourself go. Right? But like... But it's okay, because we've always had this kind of back and forth
the honesty
thing.
of a child.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, well, you skip leg day. Whatever. We got Zerot Young and Ismail says, so according to Brandon, these MAGA folk are a threat to democracy and therefore enemies of the state. So if you believe in making America great again, you must be dealt swiftly. So saith the Sith Lord. I caught bits and pieces of that. I'm still getting over the theatrics of this. I'm not sure if I've got a picture. I got to see if I can. Somebody send me the WhatsApp me the picture of President Joe Biden with the Magilla gorilla pose. And he's got this kind of ominous red hue on everything behind him, and you can make out a couple of Marines there, and he starts talking about people like us being a threat to the Republican.
Oh, he was angry.
Going, wow. And then the next day, reporters asked him, why did you say that MAGA Republicans are a threat to Republicans? I never said that. No, that's not what I said.
No.
No. You, take a look at the tape again. That's not what this president said. I'm all about unity in this country, bringing people together. I'm just, slow Joe. What can I say? Ivan Tykenko, Buenos Aires, Brancho's Chili. Sorry, that's Brancho's Chillin'. Mm-hmm. And Dennis Benzer says no winner on Friday night. Over $1,500. You mean close to $2,000 in the jackpot over at the VFW place. Nice. Anthony Quintanilla. Good morning, Ray, Don, and Joe, says Bob. Belen Sidel, multiple Valentine's heart. What new fence? What's next? Put a frame around the mural? Oh, my God, that's hilarious. Good job. Overheard Governor LG is painting Adelup with red lights and making a nighttime speech denigrating unicorn Republicans. Guam Guard in the background. The post is reported to have exclusive live stream rights. Oh, my God, guys. Vote Republicans all the way for Guam, says Auntie Bennett. Post Canteen says no winner on Friday. Queen of Hearts jackpot now $1,512. Next drawing is going to be Friday at 7 p.m. or, as we say, Friday, which is like right around the corner. Thank God. Short week here. We got Today's already Tuesday. The wake-up is done, so we've got Wednesday. Thursday, probably a short show because of jury duty. And then it's going to be Friday, and then we roll into this incredible weekend all over again. Jeff Bleedwell over at Pirates Cove. I dig this. So Pirates Cove, did you see the post that Jeff put up yesterday?
Snake bite.
They were so busy, they didn't have enough people to answer the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Over at Pirates Cove.
Please be patient.
And so I'm like, that sounds to me like a good problem to have. I'm sorry, we're busy serving drinks and hamburgers and chicken wings here. They don't have time to answer the phone. Just come over and order. Rico B says, sorry, Rayman Pugwa is still small and greenish. Oh, boy. Okay. Chat Juggan, Catherine Tyron is there. MT Fair and Charles Craw. If they pour it locally at a local establishment, then it should tell them support local. Andreas Cruz, Randy Landis. What's that? Party? Pickleball party. Pickleball party for Randy Landis and his crew. Striker Village Vince Gomez is there. Tracy Perez Limtiaco online here this morning. Tracy, today's going to be a good day because I got stories about the energy crisis that's coming to Hawaii. Actually, I'll be very careful. Yeah. The good news, they're trying to tell Oahu residents, no, this is good news. So they shut down, I think today or yesterday, they're shutting down that coal-fired plant, and so they're supposed to be backfilling with all this renewable stuff, but it's not ready. So they're firing up like diesel boilers or something like that. And they said, well, good news. The power rates are going up. They're still going up, but they're not going up as high as we expected. And the very good news is there are some islands in the Hawaiian chain that are seeing a reduction in electrical costs. It's a complicated way that they've got things all connected there. Colleen Diego, Buenos and Hoffaday to Wen Roy, Joe Takai, Alan Danger is watching the program. Danger? That's one letter away from Danger. Just saying. I got the Edwin Dicho Bandit is online. Dennis Benzer, quote, start drinking again. That's going to be Ray this Sunday morning. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think there's going to be a camp out. I think me and my friends are going to be doing some kind of a weird camp out at some point over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be.
Just guys?
It's bad. They're just... It's just bad. I just my sole hope on this one, and Dennis knows what I'm talking about, is I hope nobody attempts a pig. Because I swear that's
danger.
Yeah, it's danger.
Wear a red dress. They get scared of the red dress. Man.
Joe Takai is there. He got lost against Sandra. Joan Infante, Anthony Quintanilla, Dean, Liza Castro. Good morning to you two. Nice to see you there. Kennedy Robinson, Drew Tenorio, got Johnny Utah. I got 10 different versions on WhatsApp. I'll check and see if somebody has sent in the image that I'm referring to here this morning about with Biden and doing that crazy pose that he did. Or not. Oh, I'm getting some other stuff. Veterans Day raffle. What do we get? What kind of gun are we giving away for that? My buddy Brian sent me something. I'll take another look at that before too much longer and see if I can share it on the screen. I got some pretty Sarita Garin sunrise pictures. Not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the Hitler Joe Biden shots. Where are the Hitler Joe Biden spots this morning?
Sunrises.
I got Brian Bunn. I love you, Brian. Brian said, threat to democracy. Checking in. Present, sir. Ricky Woodall and Anna Marie Bo Cordero, Mary Shawnair Castro watching the program. Odie Marie Taitano. Odie. Alan is back. There he is. Alan Danger says that's danger with an E. Vincent Polino and Jun Paddock, Eric Ada, John Onadera, Dale Auden, and Carolyn Long. Everybody watching the program here this morning. Hit the like and share button if you don't mind. That way we can encourage other like-minded individuals. Likewise, threats to democracy and the republic. By all means, we got to get together around here. Because honestly, I don't know where else we can go. To do some of that stuff. I was in a conversation, and my friends are going to hate me. They're like, my God, every conversation that we have on the beach, you have to say on the radio. And I was sitting down with somebody. They'd just gone to watch Miss Saigon.
Oh,
Did you see how good I was at that? I did not say Little Miss Saigon again. I did not.
That's why you paused.
I did. It took me, so I want to make sure I get it right. And I said, really, what did you think of it? She says, looks like a bunch of white guys wrote it. And I'm going,
oh, wow.
Okay.
So
it's a riff on Madame Butterfly that was written by one of the greats, Puccini, one of the great, operatic guys from back in the day, Mr. Puccini here. Yeah, it sounds like a white last name. Come to think of it, but I don't know. I got up, walked away for a couple of minutes, and I came back, and there was some critical race theory, and all of a sudden I was questioning what kind of people I was hanging out with. But it still took me like 7 or 8 beers to leave them. Because I love them. 19 away from the top of the hour. Lots and lots to get to today. No, there's not. But I think I might have enough material in front of me for which that I might be able to make it all the way through. What is it? Another 3 hours and 20 minutes of the Ray Gibson Show. Plus whatever you want to send me. But if you've got requests, you know, we're an FM radio station, just like music radio stations. We take requests. If there's something that you want to hear, you want me to riff on. If there's a story that you think it might not be on the playlist here this morning, by all means, send it in. YouTube Live, Facebook Live messages. The meme machine, 797-8255 is the number for that. Go ahead and stick it in your phone and let me know what it is that you think is going to be of value. Oh, see, now Rico's got a good-looking version of the picture, and this is how it begins. You got what's his name? That Adolf guy, Adolf Hitler. I remember him from all the history books.
Yeah.
Can I just say that's one of the reasons why I like that those crazy. What's the name of that movie Brad Pitt was in? Something Bastards. Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious, yeah.
Inglorious Bastards. One of the reasons why I like that movie so much. Spoiler alert: they kill Hitler. It's one of those movies where they kind of take some artistic liberty with everything, and he dies at the end of it. But there's a picture of one of his speeches, and he's out there and he's being really, really emotional about turning Germany around, and it's all the fault of the Jews. And then we've got Joe Biden, and I'm going to paraphrase all of this. Joe Biden getting up in front of this. Somebody's got to have known what the optics were going to be, and basically blaming all of America's problems on MAGA Republicans. Now they say that Trump that was going to be bait for Trump, and they knew he was not going to be able to leave it alone, and that is going to energize Trump and his rabid red meat eating base to say no, Trump in 2024. Yeah, we'll see what happens. What's that? Alan is the brother of one of my mentors, Navy SEAL Master Chief Carl Denger. So what you're saying is don't mess with him.
Yeah.
Because he's another one of these guys, kill me with a credit card from 50 feet, right?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. 6:44 on the Ray Gibson Show. All right, time for our first big look at news. And Headline, Donna D is going to be taking care of all of that and an update maybe on some stories that I might have missed. Go.
An assault that occurred after a robbery off Robat Street in Mighty was caught on surveillance video. The victim was at a nearby supermarket when a stranger armed with a knife ran towards him and pushed him to the ground. The victim fell and blacked out after hitting his head on the pavement. He was at the police station when his attacker, 27-year-old Imbisalem, was brought in for public intoxication. He faces charges of robbery, terrorizing, and assault, along with a special allegation for possession and use of a deadly weapon. And the Guam Fire Department extinguished a blaze behind Corner Store in Mighty last night. A witness reported the fire at around 9 o'clock on Roy T. Damien Street. Firefighters found a 10 by 10-foot structure fully engulfed in flames. The fire was about 15 feet away from a mobile food truck and about 25 feet away from Pristine Auto and Lube. The fire was under control within several minutes and no injuries were reported. And a GDOE investigation is ongoing into a TikTok video that shows high school students vaping inside a Dedido campus. The Guam Education Board says this type of behavior is not tolerated in the school system. The story highlighted health and safety concerns for the activity captured in the recording. And those are your local headlines on The Point. Back to Ray.
Was my camera on when she did that story?
I don't think.
Could you see my eyes rolling in my head?
I could feel it.
Could you just really this TikTok video of kids vape? Oh my God, they're vaping! The kids are vaping. Well, look here. You know what they're not doing? They're not engaged in any weird kind of teenage orgies or riots out in the streets in the school. Oh my God, they're puffing on water. Yes, they're not carjacking. Oh my God! All of the other problems that we face in this community, and we can't stop harassing kids for vaping and be wearing shorts that are too short at John F. Kennedy High School. Let's go back. Can we go back to somebody go find me an old JFK class of like 67, 68, 69 yearbook. Guarantee that there are women grandparents now that were running around in go-go, I can see your butt shorts and skirts back in the day, mini skirts.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Bumpy shorts.
We called them atomic shorts. 50% fall out. But I'm just saying, this is lay off the kids, for heaven's sakes. If that's the worst thing that they're doing, oh my God, some parents have done a much better job than other people. Where the heck am I? 6:47 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Tell you what, quick break. We'll find out real quick what's going on with traffic and a few more of the things that are rolling around, just buzzing in my head like mosquitoes. Right after these.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Can do. Let's see here. 6:48 in the morning in the Ray Gibson Show. I've got the map on my screen now. Look, it's up on your screen. You can see exactly what I see, and that's not a whole lot of it. But Anderson Air Force Base. Apparently, everybody left over the weekend. Big long weekend. They all just took off. And a lot of people just kind of standing around going, "Hey, you guys open today?" No, everybody's hung over from the weekend. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, nothing major. All the way into Dededo, you'll see some intersection traffic in some of the usual spots. Ukadu looks like it wants to start getting busy right now. Intersection of 1 and 3. That's Cool Run-ins, Mons. Peace be to Jenny. A little bit of traffic over at 16 and 1, and looks pretty good over by the hamburger places. Southbound on Marine Corps Drive. We'll take a look at some of the central traffic. 8, 10, and 16. The Tri intersection looking pretty good here this morning. 10 and 15 over by Price. Not so bad. 4 and 10. Looking pretty good. Don't see a whole lot that's going to slow you down. 6:49 in the morning. We'll make that enough. That's your right now traffic here on The Point.
I want my children to be healthy and safe for the new school year. That's why I made an appointment at the FHP Health Center for their annual checkups, vaccines, physicals, and dental exams. FHP pediatricians and dentists deliver the highest quality of care. I trust them. So can you. Receive a free gift with your child's checkup. For an appointment, call 671-646-5825, press 1. Most private insurance plans accepted. FHP Health Center. Our island, your clinic.
Come try Guam's original Chamorro restaurant with Pica's Best 5 years running. Mezcla Chamorro Fusion Bistro. Experience Chef Peter's candied salmon over scallion coconut rice, octopus to naktak, Chamorro platter, and their award-winning gourmet hamburgers. Or if you're looking for something healthy, try their keto-friendly menu. Come and enjoy Mezcla's half-a-day service at their Hagåtña and Grand Plaza Tumon location. Call their Hagåtña location at 479-2652 for reservations.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
Last week, for absolutely no good reason, we were talking about, though I remember, there was actually a pretty good reason on this. Somebody was selling a sports memorabilia card, right? and
Yeah?
it sold as
A trading card?
Yeah, it was I forget the details on the story, whose card or whatever. It was a bubblegum card from Topps. That's the one I remember. It was in really, really good shape, and somebody made a lot of money on it, and that was the big deal. And today, another one of these stories, not necessarily sports memorabilia. This is music memorabilia. When the Beatles made their groundbreaking appearances on the Ed Sullivan Show, February of 1964, all four of them signed a 4-foot by 1-foot slab of the show's movable plastic backdrop. And somebody had the presence of mind to keep it. They kept it. The Beatles were here, says the relic, to be auctioned off late this month by Heritage Auctions of Dallas. That is Heritage Auctions. The opening bid, the bid starts at $600,000, a little over $500,000 for this piece of plastic with the signatures of the Fab Four on it. And so, you know, I'm curious, what would you pay for ours? Jerry's, Donna's, mine, and Real Joe's signatures on a piece of plastic. I mean, this could be a fun kind of thing. I mean, Bob Klitzky can sell those T-shirts. We ought to be able to sell some kind of morning show memorabilia here in the Ray Gibson Show.
Word.
Yeah. So bottles of your what do you call that stuff? The
Ornament.
Yeah. You know, I always figured we got to have a little bit more of some kind of a hustle here at the radio station. 652 and change, 888-825-5888 TALK. There's a bunch of other stuff in the table of content. Look, and here's the thing. I can't help but go back to that story talking about those kids in a TikTok video and they're smoking vape. Were they freebasing cocaine? Were they shooting heroin? Were they redlining methamphetamine? No, they weren't.
No.
Look, kids, it's just it. I get it. You know, we worry about the kids with cigarettes and marijuana and vape and all of that stuff. But in comparison to the things that they could have been doing, in comparison to the things that other kids are perpetrating out in the streets, I would say if that's all we need to worry about, that's okay, because we're living in a time on Guam. And we're not the only ones, unfortunately. I've got a story out of Honolulu talking about the same kind of thing. These are the stories that we're getting used to. On or about September 3rd, police responded to the call of a male brandishing a knife in Harmon. There is something magical about Harmon, don't you think?
Same headline.
Guys with they come out there with the guns and they get shot by the cops. This guy's lucky they didn't actually shoot him. Police arrived and observed a male later identified as B.K. Petrus jumping up and down in the roadway. Police saw a defendant screaming and running back and forth from one side of the road to the other. They observed a knife in his hands while he approached the police cruiser. Defendant eventually complied with police by putting the knife down and laying down on the ground. They noted that as handcuffs were being placed on the defendant, he tensed up because he knew he's going to jail. Police spoke with Alfred Stone, who said that he called the cops because the defendant had a knife and screaming in the roadway, forcing cars to drive around him. Stone told police that he thought the defendant was going to hurt somebody, so all's well that ends well. The police got there, talked to him, talked him down in this case. But still in all, it's just the idea of, it's a day in Harmon. There's grocery stores out there, fast food places, and apparently crazy guys. Wasn't it Harmon where we saw the woman just kind of walking around and then she dropped her shorts? I know a lot of you said that was a guy, but it's actually a woman. And dropped her child. What did Harmon just down the street where a woman just kind of died? Just right there on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
As I said, there is something magical about Harmon. Why is it all of a sudden it just seems to be the headquarters for crazy activities? I don't know what it is, but like I said, it's terrible that we have to get used to this kind of thing. And you never know what it's going to be when you roll up on an intersection anymore, do you? Any idea? 6:55. I was coming home from work one day, and my regular route. Please don't kidnap me. Probably shouldn't. Security experts like Ismail and that Denger guy are saying, no. Never tell anybody what your route. In fact, you should change out your route all the time to anybody that wants to kidnap you. They don't know where you are.
They don't know your next move, Ray.
Well, this particular time, my route took me in front of Cars Plus in Mighty. I was coming out of the Teedson Road and Cars Plus in Mighty. and I don't know when this got to be fashionable, maybe in the last 3-4 weeks or something like that. Is it me? Are some of the panhandlers getting way too aggressive?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like your windows are rolled up, got the aircon going, got the radio on 11, and they're like knocking on the door. Hello, good morning, help me. Whoa, what's this all about? And there was this woman, and she starts making her way towards me. The light turns green, and she's literally standing on the road in front of me, like she's going to wave, like she's now directing traffic. This is it. You give me $1, I'll direct traffic. We don't need cops. We don't need all of the automation technology. I'll go ahead and direct traffic for you and make sure that I can escort you across the intersection. To which I leaned on the horn and shouted something along the lines of, "Get the hell off the road! What's the matter with you?"
Was she single?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm sorry, man.
I don't know. Next time, but I don't want to go on that road anymore because she freaked me out so much. I'm all triggered by all of this because you never know what the next big deal is going to be. And I'm told that she's not alone. There's another one over by the Paseo that is out there, just the happiest kind of homeless person there ever was in the world. And they want to make sure that they've got your attention. No more of the furtive glance down like you're looking at your phone or you're changing the radio station because you don't want to make eye contact with these people. Oh, no, hell, they're coming right at you. And here's the long and short about this, guys. I know it's Tuesday morning, and there's got to be something happier that we can talk about, but I'm just kind of annoyed by it, and I sure do wish that maybe along the lines of, I don't know, enforcing the laws. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that. Somewhere along the lines, they got the feeling like if we go to the safety store and get one of those orange vests, everything will be okay. Yeah. Or if I've got my friend, the other homeless guy that has, but he has really good handwriting, make a nice sign for me. Then that means that I can't get arrested for what I'm doing. And I'm just saying, guys, we really need to concentrate on cleaning that up. They don't belong on the road. They don't belong on the medians. They're not supposed to be doing that. And there are concerns now. I don't know if you've heard any of them, but there are concerns that maybe all of that is kind of a front. Maybe they're selling drugs out there.
Oh,
maybe you don't
perfect,
know.
Man.
You don't know whether they're you got somebody that's putting money in their hand. We don't know if that's money for drugs that they're going to exchange with you.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Right? Yeah. Criminal enterprises.
You and I should go undercover and stand out there, Ray.
I want to follow them to their car. I want to see what. I bet you they got a nicer car than me and you. I'll bet they got with the My Dawn inside, the lemon air freshener on the inside. I just guarantee that they got like that. All right, tell you what, there's a lot to get through this hour. No, we're done with this hour, aren't we? 7 o'clock in the morning. Tell you what, Fox News Live is coming up in a second. We'll find out what it is that we're supposed to be all outraged about, and how the White House is going to lie about what the president said over the weekend, or how they're going to exaggerate over what Trump said out of Pennsylvania. And anybody still paying attention to Mar-a-Lago? Really, did we need to go through the First Lady's underwear drawer? We did for America. We have to do that for America. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, stand by for all that. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point is coming up. And you know who's out of town? Former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez is out of town. You might not have seen his name on the thing. He is awake because he sent me some flash traffic earlier this morning. Let me know what he was going to be doing, who he is meeting with, and what that means for the hospitality industry here on Guam. We'll talk about that and more as the program continues. In the meantime, 7 a.m. KUSG. I got you. Stand by now. It's time for Fox News on The Point.
A Coast Guard search is suspended. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. 9 people remain missing after the crash of a float plane in Washington State's Mutiny Bay yesterday, but the search is called off.
The Coast Guard says it has saturated an area over 2,100 nautical miles, and crews searched throughout the night, but no additional individuals were recovered and no debris spotted. Adding, all next of kin have been notified of this decision. Our hearts go out to the families, loved ones, and friends of those who remain missing and the deceased.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. The body of a 10th person had been recovered yesterday. The NTSB investigating. A Memphis mother of 2 remains missing after an abduction caught on security camera. The suspect found less than a day later in the car he's accused of using for the crime.
Police say they do have 38-year-old Cleotha Abston in custody. We're told he is not giving up any details in terms terms of the whereabouts of 34-year-old Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher. Abston is charged with especially aggravated kidnapping and evidence tampering in connection with Fletcher's disappearance.
Fox's Charles Watson in Memphis. Fletcher was out for an early morning run on the University of Memphis campus when she was forced into a vehicle. Just over a month to the midterm elections, President Biden is making the case for Democrats to keep control of Congress while attacking Trump supporters.
Extreme MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and our economic security, they embrace political violence.
Though in his speech to union members in Milwaukee, he also repeated he's not criticizing all Republicans. The president's Republican critics argue he's the one further dividing the country. The former president's motion for a third-party review of documents seized from his Florida home is granted by a federal judge, a decision federal prosecutors say is being examined for possible next steps. America is listening to Fox News.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
The world's leading oil producers agree to a small cut in production, essentially rolling back a previous decision.
With demand falling and fears of a recession rising, OPEC nations and their allies say they'll cut crude oil production by 100,000 barrels per day in October. The move offsets a mostly symbolic increase of the same amount this month. Oil prices topped $120 per barrel in June, but have fallen sharply in recent weeks, cutting into the cartel's profits, while drivers in the U.S. reap the benefits at the gas pumps. AAA on Monday reporting a national average of $3.78 for a gallon of regular, down from a record high of more than $5 in June. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
The White House says energy supply should meet demand to support economic growth and lower prices in a written statement after today's OPEC decision. The president pledging again to take every step necessary to shore up energy supplies and help lower prices. Oil prices up more than 2%, but still under $90 a barrel for now. Wall Street was closed for the Labor Day holiday. Cheap tickets filling more seats over the weekend and pushing one blockbuster to new heights.
Good morning, aviators.
Top Gun Maverick returned to the top of the box office over the Labor Day weekend as people took advantage of the $3 holiday movie ticket special, and it pushed the Tom Cruise-led film over the $7 million mark to place it at number 5 on the top 10 highest-grossing domestic films of all time.
Having any fun yet?
Over the weekend, the film grabbed another $7.5 million, according to Paramount. It also marked another milestone. Maverick is the only film to ever be number 1 at the domestic box office for both Memorial Day and Labor Day holidays.
Fox's Michelle Polino, the first National Cinema Day, also swinging Spider-Man No Way Home back to a box office favorite. Elisa Brady, this is Fox News.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Take your business to new heights with the United Business Credit Card. Earn 30,000 bonus miles after spending $3,000 within the first 3 months after account opening. Plus, earn 3 times the miles per $1 spent on United tickets through United until April 30th, 2023, and 2 times the miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com United Business for more information and to apply for your United Business Credit Card today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
The Super American Circus is here, and Circle K is giving away free Circus Kids tickets. Drop by your closest Circle K location and get up to 4 tickets absolutely free. So come one, come all, and enjoy free tickets to the greatest show on Island today. Circle K, take it easy. Ticket is valid for kids 12 years old or younger with purchase of preferred tickets.
Half a day at 7:06. I'm Donna De Jesus. Here's a look at your local news on The Point. 31-year-old Brandon Terea Ken threatened to kill 2 women if police were called. On Saturday, GPD responded to a disturbance in Jigo. When they arrived, officers met with a woman who said Ken insisted that she give him the passcode to her phone. The pair argued and then he left the residence. Court documents state that Ken returned when the victim went to sleep and told her if she didn't unlock her phone, he would get a knife. He then grabbed a knife from the kitchen and started stabbing the wall just above where she and her son were sleeping, and then started stabbing the bedroom door. Another woman who was at the residence came into the room to stop Ken, and he told the woman if she calls police, he would kill them. When questioned by officers, Ken admitted to stabbing the kitchen door and said he only gets like that when he drinks beer and smokes marijuana. He was charged with terrorizing and family violence. Meanwhile, a combined $20 million was poured into the budget for GMH by lawmakers over the past week after reports of an OBGYN shortage and poor conditions in the maternity ward. But the doctor who raised the alarm over a maternity care crisis earlier this month isn't convinced it will make much difference. Dr. Juan Nguyen of American Medical Center says money isn't the only problem getting specialists on remote Guam. He compared GMH to GRMC, which Dr. Nguyen says is not poor, is so clean, and does not have a leaking ceiling or an air conditioner that doesn't work. He says it's possible that for enough money, a doctor would come on a temporary basis, but with the $5 million not aimed specifically at the OBGYNs in the budget bill and no plan in place ahead of time, it was unlikely. He says $1 million should have been set aside just to bring a neonatologist to Guam to treat newborns in the neonatal intensive care unit. Nguyen believes that a state of emergency should be declared by the governor so that doctors can be brought in from the Philippines to assist local mothers. More news after this.
It's the 76 Circle K and GTA Prepaid Ultra Giveaway. From now until August 31st, enter win a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra plus a $600 76 gas card and more. Come into any participating 76 Circle K location, buy $5 or more of GTA Prepaid Load, and receive an entry form for every $5 you spend. The more you top up, the more chances you have of winning. Stay connected and win this summer with GTA Prepaid and Circle K. Visit GTA.net for more information.
CCU member Simon Sanchez says GPA customers lost out on millions of dollars in savings because of slow action by the legislature when GPA sought approval to refinance its bond debt. Sanchez adds that because of the delay, customers will save $15 million but could have saved as much as $25 million. He says more timely assistance is needed from the legislature if they really want to help ratepayers save money. During its monthly meeting in August, the CCU approved a resolution required by law, which informs lawmakers the savings will be applied to the cost of the new power plant. The GPA refinancing bill, written by Senator Josen Augustine, was introduced in October of last year, and lawmakers approved it on February 25. When Governor Luliang Guerrero signed the refinancing bill into law on March 10, she stated it was timely and time-sensitive. Sanchez says customers could have saved more money if Legislative Power Committee Chairman Senator Clint Rigel had acted on the bond refinancing bill sooner. Rigel responded that his committee wanted more information about the proposed refinancing options, including options that would yield the greatest savings on the bond debt. Meanwhile, low enrollment has canceled some construction trades classes at GCC. Apparently, the college frequently cancels classes like Electricity 1, despite the government's goal of getting more residents trained and working in the construction industry. GCC President Mary Okada says low enrollment is a persistent problem with the construction trades program, and the college doesn't want to spend money on courses with only a few students. She adds that courses with low enrollment can move forward if any of the students need the course to complete their degree, apprenticeship, or certification program. 8 trades courses were canceled this semester because of low enrollment, which is about half of all construction trades courses listed in the catalog for the fall term. Students won't be able to take those courses until at least January 12 during the spring term if the courses are not canceled again. Some of the canceled courses were introductory courses, which are needed to move on to the next level of instruction in that trade. Okada says courses offered by GCC normally are canceled if fewer than 13 students are enrolled, but the bar was lowered to only 10 students for construction trades courses. Enrollment in the canceled courses ranged from 1 to 7 students. And those were your top stories. Back to Ray with weather.
Am I going to do weather? I wanted to do a shout here this morning. I checked on the dashboard on the stream, not the video stream, the audio stream, and looking at where people are listening. A good bunch of people in Hawaii that are listening because they know it's Tuesday on Guam. Hawaii Free Press. What's the big story going to be today about what's going on in Hawaii? Hawaii 9, #1 in the world for tourist taxes. It is now the most expensive place in terms of taxes for tourists to go to. And there's a guy who writes up an interesting story there. But for the grace of God, go us. And then want to do shouts to there are apparently a number of people that are listening in Thailand here this morning.
Oh, nice.
I like the food.
Phuket?
I don't know where any of these pictures are, but they're really, really nice, like beach, resorty pictures going on. And I'm thinking that's what we need. That's what we need here is maybe like in the middle of Tumon, we get a big rock sticking out of the ground, just like they've got in Thailand. Yeah. Wouldn't be a thing, It's like we tell everybody it was. I don't know. We take I know. We'll take the Fanua route. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Down south.
Yeah.
We'll take that, move it to like Agania, so more people can see it. Anyway, 7:12 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Here it comes, the weather. I don't know what it's like in Thailand right now, but on Guam, mostly sunny skies. Daytime highs near 88 degrees. There's southeast winds about 5 miles an hour, becoming calm this afternoon. And if you're wondering what that information is good for, if you're a runner, that's good news because it means in a lot of cases you're probably not going to be running against too much of a headwind. Isolated showers, the forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and overnight lows of about 77 degrees. For tomorrow, mostly sunny again. Daytime highs 88 degrees. Light southeast winds becoming east-southeast 5 to 9 miles in the morning. And that was the word, I think, maybe at the beach. I don't know. Was it breezy at the beach? Because wherever I was going on Sunday, it was one of those like, wow. There is absolutely no breeze and just hot and muggy Guam air. It was nice. Heat index today is going to feel 98 degrees. Sunrise this morning was at 10 after. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:29 or so. Hashtag tell the others. There it is. News and weather together. This is The Point.
Becoming a homeowner for the first time could be a little nerve-wracking, but it certainly doesn't have to be, especially if you have Lolita Kamet of Hafaday Realty guiding you every step of the way. So have no fear. She also specializes in land sales, commercial leasing, local residential sales leasing, also military and corporate new relocation. So for all your real estate needs, take the first step in the right direction with Lolita Kamet of Hafaday Realty by calling 671-688-6743. That's 671-688-6743.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they will continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $4,100 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 671-475-4545, Upper Tumon 671-647-5626, or in Dededo 671-633-4473.
Ray Gibson Show brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home.
Morning talk that matters. It's the Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point coming up before too much longer. 7:15 in the morning, and music has got me all amped up here. As most of the other news and headlines and stuff that we're going to be talking about is likewise got me a little bit amped up, kind of crazy on a Tuesday morning. You know what it is it was a long weekend. It was Friday and then Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Lots going on. I include Friday in my weekend,
Longest weekend of my life.
It seemed to just go on and on and on. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I enjoyed it immensely. All of the opportunities to get some sleep in and hang out and goof off with some friends. And there was a significant amount of goofing off. We're setting the stage for yet even more coming up between here and the weekend. But it just for the most part, the things that I engage in, rather safe, for the most part. But there was one thing we went on kind of a little crusade around the downtown Gutney area.
Please tell me that wasn't you, Ray.
Where?
Wearing a red dress,
man,
running.
Event, man. I don't know what you're talking about there, but I do know.
I tried to look for you in that crowd.
It's a charity event, bud. We're trying to domestic abuse or something. I forget what it is. We're raising money for.
Right, man.
But it's like that. But anyway, so part of that walking tour that we had took us up to, and it was so sad. We went up to do you have memories of the old Cliff Hotel?
Oh.
One way or the other.
The red carpet.
Yes, the red carpet restaurant and the swimming pool down in the back, and there's all of the little, what did they have there? It was tennis courts back there once upon a time.
And racquetball.
There was racquetball downstairs in the other building. But I tell you what, man, that place has seen some brighter days, and I don't know if they're ever going to come back. You just kind of look at it and say, how about we just bulldoze this and start all over and rebuild kind of a new. Like they did with the Crown Plaza down the street, the old Fujita, Daiichi, and then all of a sudden, bam, we got this new, modern 5-star hotel that's going up in its place. Could we do something like that? There was before the big Hyatt swimming pool. That was the thing. You go kind of have a brunchy deal over at the red carpet, and then you go downstairs and swim in the swimming pool there. And there were a lot of social events that took place at all of those different locations. In fact, I remember when they signed off on MASH. Do you remember the television show, the original TV show, MASH?
I do, yeah, Clinker.
They did the last, we played the last telecast of that from there. Well, I was still at KUM, and we made kind of a big deal. It was a charity fundraiser for the American Cancer Society or something like that. And we had a bunch of these big screen TVs. And when I say big screen, some of them might have been as big as 32 inches, right? Because that was big. That was big back in those days. Big 32-inch television for micropack audio. My God, who do I think I am buying this? Made of money or something like that. Oh, and at the very least, 7 guys to carry that out of the parking lot. 7:18 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Let me take a quick look at what the markets did over the weekend. They're going to be closed today because it's still Labor Day in the U.S. It says here S&P 500. Ooh, ugly day. 42 points down there Friday. Our Saturday, 39.24 is where the S&P 500 ended up. NASDAQ lost 154 points, 11,630, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average bleeding 337 points. The new low is now 31,318. FTSE up by 6, Nikkei up by 31, the Hang Seng Index down by 22.6, and the Shanghai up by 13.43. VIX up by 0.5 point, and the DAX closes down 290 points or so. Big winners on the NASDAQ. Do I have any? Lululemon. Hey, Lululemon's my favorite yoga patch at the gym, buddy. And we got Oak Tub, Broadcom, Pinduoduo, and NetEase, Regeneron, Vertex, Chartercom, Comcast Corporation, and Baidu round out the bottom of the NASDAQ. In terms of the commodities, let me see here. Gold trading at $1,721. That's off by $1.40. And West Texas crude back under $90 a barrel, but running a little bit high right now. $88.82, picked up $1.95 worth of value. Now, we don't know what the Tapas numbers are, but Tapas numbers seem to be favorable for us because Friday we got word that gasoline was now selling for $5.15 a gallon on Guam. I put gasoline in my car over the weekend. I got some gasoline in the car, but don't ask me what kind of Rockefeller Calvo Camacho I think I am. I put $75 worth, and it went bang, almost all the way up to full. Almost all the way up to full. So I'm very, very happy about that. This is a good movement when it comes to the price of gasoline for me. And so I'm delighted about that. Now, you might be wondering, because Jerry Roberts always asks, when was the last time we saw it this low? And the last time was January the 18th. Closest I can get to is January the 18th.
Which year?
This year.
Oh, this year.
This year, just before Russia went on that little trip into Ukraine. It was $5.04 for a gallon of it in January of 18, and that was kind of the high water mark for the year. And then, of course, we've seen where it's been since then, going to, what was it, $6.50 a gallon at one point?
Yep.
Where it peaked up there, 20 after 7 o'clock in the morning.
Unless you're in California.
Unless you were in California.
I think it hit $10 at least, so we got a couple of gas stations in California.
And so we're supposed to feel good because, well, a lot of that is taxes, right? Well, a lot of that is taxes. And apparently there's been another one of their, another pronouncement where they're telling everybody on one hand to start driving electric vehicles because we don't like gas and we're going to get out of the gasoline-powered vehicle business before too much longer. But by the way, if you've already owned a electric vehicle, please don't charge it because there's not enough electricity in the grid in the state to be able to provide for all of you guys plugging in at the same time.
And did you see the cost of a replacement battery for that?
If you and I are talking about the same thing on like 28, was it $28,000?
$28,000 to replace the battery on an electric vehicle.
Do you remember what kind of electrical vehicle it was? Was it like a Tesla or something like, that's got a name or something like that?
It was a Jetson 101, I think is what it was.
Yeah,
it was because that's exactly what it's going to be when the battery runs out. It's going to be a Jetson car. It's going to be a Flintstone car at that point.
Well, I was talking to somebody that had one of these hybrid cars.
Yeah,
and we're
$28,000 for hybrid battery too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right up around that. There are some interesting costs that are associated with that, and you don't have too many choices other than you drive it like it's a regular car. Because if the battery's not taking a charge anymore, there's no way, I guess, to get it from the battery part to the alternative. It becomes a regular car.
It's a regular car at that point.
And then the other thing is, apparently, if you let the battery go down, it's not like you can just kind of drive it around the street and recharge it. Apparently, the story that I heard from somebody was they got to go, they had to drive all the way down to Humatic and back before it had a sufficient charge so that it would start up again. And I thought, well, this is some interesting times for us. A lot of interesting choices that we got to make.
Did you see the fake commercial that has the AA? The AA electric vehicle?
I did not see that spoof commercial. I did what I did see was a spoof commercial of a bunch of hardworking, just kind of middle class Americans talking about how happy they are to be taking on a lot of overtime and taking on second jobs so that they can pay for the college loans from a bunch of kids who went to gender studies and Hollywood school.
It's amazing.
It is kind of amazing what we are talking about in this country. I did want to share this because I think it's important that we find ways that to be able to use this, especially in our Asian source markets. Korea, Carl Gutierrez is flying to Japan, flew to Japan yesterday. I'll see if I can get an update from him on some meetings that he's having with U.S. diplomatic officials there. They're trying to get a seat at Haneda.
Oh,
because Haneda, we want a seat at Haneda because that makes it even easier for Tokyoites to have on just at the spur of the moment say, "Hey, it's Friday afternoon. Let's go to Guam."
Go to Guam.
Yeah, and then be able to get into it without having to go 90 minutes by train, 60 minutes by train, 90 minutes by bus, all the way out to Narita City.
Great airport.
Yes, it is. It is. It always has that feel like when I first started traveling when I was a little kid. But the story is that Hawaii is now #1 in terms of tourist taxes around the world.
Really?
Around the world. Last month, Money.co.uk published an article giving Honolulu a claim to the international fame or infamy. It listed the city as having the highest tourist tax of any city in the world. And they only went through a couple in the article, but the guy that's writing what I'm reading now filled it in a little bit. It noted a 10.25% transient accommodations tax, to which the 3% county TAT is added. So that's already a hefty tax anywhere in the world. But when you consider that the average room in Honolulu is about $390, that adds an additional $50 or so to your room night.
And 13.25, and we're 11, right?
I forget where our number is.
Still 11?
The runner-up, according to the article, was San Francisco, which charges a 14% transient occupancy fee. fee, but the room nights in their hotels are lower, meaning that even with the article's numbers, Honolulu is still 75% higher in taxes than the second most tourist tax city in the world. But there's more. They did not include their version of the business privilege tax, or GET, which appears on hotel folios on top of the 13.25% TAT.
Oh, that's California?
That's still Hawaii.
Oh, that's Hawaii.
Yeah, so
doesn't include the hotel tax.
Yes, on top of everything else, we get the business privilege tax that they charge out there, the GET, which is another 4.7%. What it basically adds is your room rate is $390. Figure another $75
So the transient
in additional
tax,
taxes.
and then the hotel tax, and then the business privilege. You're
Correct.
talking 25% maybe.
Exactly. It is terrible. And I'm going, wait a second, for price-sensitive consumers in our Asian source markets, they ought to know that. There ought to be a comparison. Hey, we're closer, and we're decidedly cheaper than these guys.
I would think that Governor Gutierrez will probably do something.
Or Jerry. I'll send him a copy of that so he can see what's going on. 727, long weekend for you. How'd you do?
I loved it.
Wasn't it great?
Yeah.
The part where you don't have to, it got to be Monday about 7 o'clock, and you didn't have to get up or anything.
I found myself in bed sleeping.
Nice. Did you dream about the Extra Point?
Of course I did.
Every once in a while we do.
I did.
Jerry Robertson, the Tuesday version of the Extra Point, being brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank. Jer?
In recent days, I have encountered a dizzying assortment of poorly managed customer issues. Now, some are here in Guam, others online from companies on the mainland. And, it just happens. Every once in a while, you start thinking about customer service, and then stuff happens. Well, today is a date event, and I encourage you to join in if these things are happening to you as well. And that's next on the Extra Point.
Fly to new experiences with 3 times United miles with First Hawaiian Bank's United credit card. Earn 3 times per dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels until February 28th, 2023, and 2 times miles thereafter. Visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or go to fhb.com/United for more information. Don't wait. Apply today. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Okay, I teach customer service. Several companies every year want me to come out and deal with customer service in their company. Happy to do it always. But good customer service is not hard to deliver, but it does require some fundamental things. Now, one of those is that you pay attention to details. I've had a bunch of things happen recently that tell me folks were taking their eye off the ball. I had a small issue with a computer, and I called Apple's tech support line. A young lady answered, and after I explained my issue, her response indicated she didn't have a clue what I was talking about. She was new. She put me on hold for several minutes, 3 times, as she tried to get answers. I then asked her, could she elevate me to a senior technical advisor? That's code for get me off your phone and get me to somebody who knows what they're doing. No, nobody available. It was just me and her. The end result, I still have the problem. Recently, I bought a couple of used books, one on eBay. You can buy used books on eBay, and one from Amazon. Neither order was shipped. And when I asked them, hey, why not? Both service reps, well, they weren't sure. One wasn't even sure they ever had the book in stock, though it was listed on their site. Both were refunded, but it was several weeks to come to that conclusion. Now, back home, we decided to make a small change to our communication setup. We went to the telecom company, we got it done, yet it was clear that the person who processed the order was new and a little bit uncertain with the process. When the order was completed, all that was needed was a simple install. We were promised that would happen the next day. So, you wait the next day. You got to be home. So we waited. It didn't happen the next day. On the following day, we learned that the order never got into the right hands of the installers, a communication problem. The upside, is we liked the guy who had installed at our place before, and he was the one who did come out. So seeing him again was a bonus. He's smart. He works fast. So it ended up being a good thing. Yet it was still a communication issue. Back to the internet. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I tried to make an order on Target.com for an item that I often have trouble getting locally. Target was also out, but offers an email service to notify you when the item is back in stock. That's a valuable feature, so I entered my email to be notified. Voila! The next day, I got the notification email. I was going through email, and pow, there it was. It just showed up instantaneously, and the item was again available. Oh, happy day! So I scrambled to the Target site, refreshed the page, and the item was out of stock again. How could that be? I just got the email. It just showed up while I was in there minutes ago. However, good news. I could again sign up to be notified when the item was again back in stock. I did. The next day, I got the notification. It was in stock and available. I went to the site ready to make the order. What do you think I saw? Yes, it was out of stock again. I went to the Target chat and asked the service rep, hey, how does this work? Obviously, something in the computer system triggered those alert emails, yet the items were out of stock both times. I was given a non-answer answer. You've gotten those before, right? Letting me know they had no idea how it worked. Keep trying, they wrote, and then the service rep added the comforting happy emoji. Naturally, the happy emoji re-energized my spirits, and I put my email down again to be notified. Obviously enjoying the punishment, I had this scenario repeated again before I gave up. It's a communication issue, but between the inventory system, the service department, Target's algorithm, what? Anyway, that was Friday. On Sunday, my wife and son and I went out for lunch. It's a nice family restaurant. We've been there before, and the service is generally good. We sat down at a table and waited for the server to take our orders. Servers passed by our table several times, but didn't stop. Now, after waiting about 15 minutes, a server did come to the table, apologizing for the wait. And she said nobody had told her that our party belonged to her. A communications lapse. We actually ended up with 2 servers working our table. They did a nice job, and the meal was very good. What's the point of all this? In every situation, there was a communication breakdown of some kind. It wasn't that people weren't well-intentioned in trying. It was an issue with their system, or somebody missed a step in the process. As I said at the beginning, good customer service isn't hard, but you have to focus on the details. So how is your organization on details and communication when it comes to service? What do you need to do to make things better? That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, and First Hawaiian Bank, I'm Jerry Roberts.
And somewhere out there is a boss and nodding his head to all of that, saying, yeah, but I did the best I could do. I'm looking for employees like you wouldn't believe, and I got to pay these guys all kinds of extra money, and we got to train them and get them on the floor as quickly as possible. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'd do it for $20 an hour. They'd get it right for $20 an hour because they ain't getting it right at $15 an hour. 7:34 in the morning on The Ray Gibson Show. A couple of other interesting stories about what, the things that are going on around here where it comes to Labor Day. Some people are saying that this Labor Day is going to be kind of the clarion call for managers to get their employees back in the offices. More on that a little bit later on. And one of the ways that they're finding to get their employees back in the office, and that is free snacks. This might be the thing for you.
Nice.
Food is getting much more expensive at home and in restaurants, but not at work. 51% of companies are offering free snacks and beverages in 2022. That's up from 31% in 2019. That's a big jump, guys. According to the Society for Human Resource Managers, overall food prices, you know and I know because we go grocery shopping and eating in restaurants, were up 10.9% in July. The Consumer Price Index shows the price of food at employee sites and schools down by 13.9. Some employers are investing in new cafeterias where they subsidize food or just give it away. At the new 21-story headquarters of the Marriott International, a sprawling new cafeteria has been designed to draw people to the office. You can grab a free brownie ice cream sandwich or orange freeze at this place. Airstream said on an investor call they have a full-service cafeteria. Theirs is a centerpiece of the new headquarters in Jackson Center. They have a full cafeteria. Wait, this gets better. An on-site medical clinic.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. You'll leave. They're going, well, we got to figure out a way to get people in here, and that's one of the ways that they do it. So free snacks, a brand new cafeteria for those of you that want to relive that middle school and high school experience. And if you get sick from the food that we're giving you, we've got someplace to go and have your stomach pumped.
I had a niece. I have a niece who worked for Facebook.
Yeah,
she no longer does. But she worked there, and my wife, I think, and my son had a chance to tour the campus, and they had everything there. They have a medical clinic, they have restaurants galore, they have all kinds of things. With the concept being keep them on campus. Don't give them any reason to leave. They come in, everything is there. There was a concierge service, so you have dry cleaning or something. Either there's a dry cleaner there, or they send it out for you. So, I mean, they give you everything, basically, and then they want you to go, do your job. And they did, right? So, I mean, it was but it's an enormous expense, but Facebook realized that, if they're running around, they take time off for this and time off for that, too many distractions. But Mike Powell gave us the message in terms of snacks. What's the best kind of food in the world?
Free food.
Free food, and there you go.
7:36 in the morning. Bob Kelly wanted to chime in on the Extra Point. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I have a comment about the out of stock on Target that we were just discussing a few minutes ago, and it's also happened at Best Buy. If you put in a U.S. address in the mainland, like a Texas or an Oregon address, suddenly it's in stock. But if you have Guam, it shows out of stock. And I have no idea why they just don't say they aren't going to ship to Guam, but that may have been what was happening with Jerry.
Microphone?
Guam. They do ship to Guam, but here's what they do. They also reduce the amount available. And I've seen this happen because I've done exactly what you've talked about, where 2 items might be available if you're buying from Guam. All of a sudden, when you're buying from Texas or something, then you can get 20 of them. They also do that.
So,
there's something in the algorithm there that just recognizes offshore addresses and says no.
Where's Madeline?
Well, that was what happened to me, and when I was trying to buy some stuff from Best Buy, out of stock, threw in a U.S. mainland address. Suddenly, I could buy everything I wanted. So,
well, Best Buy doesn't ship to Guam.
What?
Best Buy doesn't ship here.
This is where he's going to make that plug for that out-of-town company.
Your out-of-town company, that'll reship. But Best Buy will not ship directly to a Guam address.
Well, I'll need to go back because I've actually had some stuff shipped here.
Directly to Guam without going through your reshipper?
Water cooler filters from Best Buy.
Maybe they
Several
changed.
things that we've had.
Okay.
Hey,
and
Bob.
the interesting thing is they don't charge that much to ship it, but not everything can ship. That's the big issue. You got to find something that ships, and then it's got to be one that's in stock. And I would say probably half the time it's not in stock to ship to Guam. And so that's the first catch you got to get around. And second, it's got to obviously be small enough to ship. But the water cooler in our conference room uses filters, and we get them from Best Buy shipped here.
All right. One thing for you while I got you on the line, Sunday's Guam Daily Post with an interesting story about it. And I touched on this last week while you were off island, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But the FCC has just concluded their auction for 2.5 gigahertz licenses, spectrum around here. And my understanding was that this thing was going in the millions of dollars on Guam.
It was a very weird auction. This is one of the
How much can you talk about? Are you conflicted?
I can give you a little bit of observation. First off, this is one of the first auctions that I wasn't participating as somebody setting up the strategy for bids. So I was an observer. But everything across the entire United States had stopped auctioning except Guam, which went on another couple of days. And there was only 3 carriers on Guam who would go, but more than 3 people were in it. We don't know who won yet, but that was another kind of weird situation. Is there somebody outside of Guam that's trying to jump in?
Were they doing it just to increase the buy? to push the.
I mean, why would? What if they get stuck with it? I mean, you wouldn't go to an auction and bid on something to increase the price if you didn't want it.
Well, you bank it like everything else. I mean, for whatever the auction price was, whoever is going to get it has got. I mean, there's the inherent value of the thing even after you've won the bid.
By Spectrum auction. That's been done by Spectrum. But why Guam? I mean, for whatever reason, the United States finished it, and there are 2 blocks that we're dealing with. There's 3 carriers. So obviously everybody can't get a piece of the action out here.
Right.
And it is pretty valuable spectrum for a couple of reasons. It's got good penetration into buildings. You can run LTE on it. You can run 5G on it. And the other thing about it is it's ready to use right away, where some of the spectrum in the TV channels, although this doesn't apply to Guam, is not available. The reason I say it doesn't apply to Guam is there are areas in the United States that are auctioning out current TV channels that the incumbent TV stations need to move to a lower frequency before they can be used. But that doesn't even apply to Guam. This was just kind of really way out. And the other thing is we're paying several times per pop higher. Per pop means per person in our populated area over what's being paid, for instance, in Los Angeles area.
I'd heard that. So it's going to be kind of curious as to who is going to win this thing. Will it be one of the 3 off-island batches that have been going after it, or maybe somebody from the outside? And what does that mean in terms of services as they roll out new features that will live in that 2.5 gigs?
Well, you can go online and see what the final auction price was and who had it. I could look at that and let you know tomorrow. I did not, since I've been traveling off island, I did not go back when the thing ended last week to see who ended up as the 2 top bidders. But that is actually available at the FCC auction site.
Yeah, when I get motivated, I'll look for it too. All right, buddy, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Shane Dawson writing in. I've gotten stuff from Best Buy, but they won't ship large or heavy items like TVs. That's all. Shane, don't worry about that, because everybody knows somebody can shop on base, right? I mean, so... Really, what are you missing out on here?
Man.
7:42 in the morning, and then I got this note here from my buddy Joey. We were talking about the high prices for tourists in Hawaii. Aloha, to add to the tourist tax cost in Hawaii, current LT Governor Josh Green and Democratic candidate for Governor 2023 has proposed a $50 tax per arriving tourist once he's elected governor. These green taxes, they call them, these funds will be used to refurbish and upkeep Hawaii's tourist destination sites. What a joke Hawaii has become. The sad reality, this guy's Hawaiian, by the way.
That's right, man.
The sad reality is the majority of Hawaii voters feel this is okay and acceptable. So much for the meaning of aloha.
Huli the people.
Huli the system.
Huli the people,
Huli the system. All right, I got to go. 7:43 in the morning. Donna D has got another look at news and headlines. I kind of blew past this one here, but that's all right. It's Tuesday. Forget the format. Huli the format. Donna D with news and headlines brought to you by Burger King, and we've already nominated them for everything. We're letting you know about voting on things. I think Chicken Fries Fridays are back. Southwestern Whoppers available at Burger King as well, and it's also brought to you by Lolita Kamet, and she's with Holiday Realty. So maybe over the weekend while you were driving around, you passed by something that said, boy, I bet I could fix that thing up and turn that into this like my super like Guam Playboy mansion. And that's a dream that somebody ought to pursue, and Lolita will help you do that. It's 7:43 now with news and headlines. Here's Donna D. Havadana.
More than $1.3 million in tax refunds were processed and paid by Revenue Tax and DOA on Thursday. A release states that the refunds cover 431 error-free returns filed on or before August 20. Refund payments are being processed weekly and are now made within 2 weeks of filing. For more information or questions about refunds, use the Contact Us section online at myguamtax.com or email pinadmin@revtax.guam.gov. And Dr. Huang Yuan has broken down why so many residents are getting sick. He says it's a combination of both the flu and COVID-19. But Nguyen adds that there is a simple way to avoid catching the flu by walking into your primary care physician's clinic. Nguyen encourages parents to get their children the annual flu shot, especially now that classes are back in session. An uptick in flu cases can be expected until March 2023. And Sunday's Labor Day picnic was the first time the GovGuam event was held since 2019. The annual event was held in honor of the national holiday that acknowledges and recognizes the many contributions workers have made in their communities. The 2-year hiatus was due to the global pandemic. The event was open to the public and allowed the community to enjoy the festivities and voice concerns and have open discussions with GovGuam employees. And those are your local headlines. Back to Ray.
All right, thanks very much. 7:45 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. Lots and lots to get to. We have not quite scratched a whole lot of surfaces here this morning. One of them is just the entertainment that is political season here on Guam. We are 63 days, according to the countdown timer over at the Guam Election Commission. 63 days away from the general election. Now, what should have happened in the minds of many all-in campaign people was, all right, we kicked the snot out of Mike and Bree in the primary election. Now they need to come crawling to us and pledge their support to the all-in campaign. They need to come to us and tell all of their supporters that they are now part of the all-in family. And that has not happened. Apparently, all this time has passed since the primary election, and apparently Auntie Lou is still waiting by the phone. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe she's got one of those things, like Jerry Roberts says, kind of an email. So when they're ready to call in, they'll send an email, and then Lou can go wait by the phone for Mike to call up and say, "Wow, great campaign. Wonderful way to do this, and we can hardly wait to pledge our voters in your direction." But apparently, that's not what's happening. There's a picture that I played for you last week with we got Congressman Mike Nicholas hanging out with Felix and Tony at some kind of fancy Japanese restaurant, easy peasy Japanesey restaurant, and now. Over the weekend, maybe you saw some of these in a variety of places. Have you noticed that the roadways where there's a Camacho Ada sign are terrible, but when there's a all-in sign, it's like new pavement there?
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one. Anyway, so we've got here's a picture. It's the Camacho Ada sign, and in the corner of it is the San Nicolas Matanani sign. According to Sean Gumatauta, this is not vandalism. This is on purpose. They've done this on purpose, ladies and gentlemen, to make it very, very clear that there might be some kind of announcement. Here's the opposite. Here's the San Nicolas Salas Matanani signs with a Camacho Ada image on it. Again, not vandalism. So what's going on? Now, according to Sean Gumatauta, what they're going to do is it's not our place to say. It's not our place to say. Well, tell you what. Everybody go to Good Time. Good Time is going to be jam-packed on Thursday. On the 8th, they're going to be having a thing that Mike St. Nicholas and Bree are going to be throwing by way of saying thanks very much to all the supporters. Let me get that up on the screen. I saw this on Facebook. Maybe you did as well. Thank you. Get together with Mike and Bree Thursday. And this is what you need to look out for. Two things that I want you, and you're all attentive people, to pay attention for. Number one is who else is going to be there? Mike and Bree obviously going to be there. Will Felix and Tony and the wives be there as well? Is Frank Uggan going to be coming back out? I know he's going to be in town before the end of the month, but will he be back in town in time for all of this? And then the other thing is, hey, DJ Daryl Izama on the ones and twos, bro.
No way.
Yeah, he's taking care of the music. It says right there in the thing.
Oh, sweet.
The food will be provided and music provided by DJ Daryl Izama. Right on, bro.
Oh, yeah.
This is
I guess we're going.
I guess we're going.
Oh, what's that say? Ray Tenorio will be in attendance.
Don't know about that.
Oh.
7:48, 63 days. And is it going to get crazier on Friday morning? What will I be talking about Friday morning? Well, it depends if I go out on Thursday night. We'll see what happens. 7:48. But I'm so glad I got Maria Pangilinan on the line from the actual Election Commission. And thank you again, Maria, for the incredible countdown clock that you've got up on the screen, reminding me that Tuesday, November the 8th, 7 a.m., we'll light the fires for the upcoming 2022 general election. Isn't that great?
Yes, it is. Half a day, Ray Gibson.
Half a day, many lose and many know. Hey, did you guys go down to the Labor Day?
No, I stayed home and I rested all day. Well, no, on Sunday, of course, I went to church. But yesterday, I labored in the bedroom all day.
Labored in the bed. Oh. that sounds like how I was laboring on the couch for a long time yesterday as well.
Absolutely.
Understood.
Absolutely. On the couch in the bedroom, yeah.
Say no more? Say no more, as the man says. So I was thinking, in October the 11th, we'll go over a couple of other important dates. October the 11th is when the early voting will resume over at the Westin. But the question that I have, Are the sample ballots out yet for the general election? Because we're obviously going to be figuring out who among the who between Congressman, I'm sorry, not Congressman, but Senator Jimmy Moylan and Judy Wanpat. We're going to be voting on who is going to Washington, D.C. There's an attorney general's race. We got to whittle it down from the 30 or so candidates that are running for senator to just 15 possible winners, and, of course, the gubernatorial race. But there are other races coming up in the general, are there not?
Yes, there are. There's the Consolidated Commission on Utilities and the Guam Education Board. So their packets are due no later than September 9th at 5 o'clock. And so we will try to certify on September 13th.
September. Okay. All right. I'm trying to keep all those dates in my head. The only guy I'm really concerned about is, I think, Peter Atta. As far as I know, he's the only one that in the family chat, everybody is saying, okay, we got to remember to, support Uncle Pete through this thing. So I'm glad that he now has an idea of when he's got to get his paperwork in. But not everybody in the CCU is going to be up for re-election.
So three seats are up this election cycle. So it would be Simon Sanchez, Francis Santos, and
who else is on? Mike
Limchaco.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So between the three of those guys now, they need to start making a big noise about getting reelected. Are there any? Those are the seats that are up for grabs that we know of. Are there any new names that have dropped off packets for the CCU?
I think the names are on our website, but I think Mr. Rick Umpinko submitted his name some time ago. I think almost the first day that we were accepting packets.
What about the mayors? I mean, I don't want to get rid of mine. I love Rudy Paco is the man in my village. So I want to just I'm not interested in anybody voting, running against him. But are there village races that will be taking place?
No, that's in 2024.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So in this case, it's just the CCU and the Ed Board, and so be looking for those guys to start, a little bit of campaigning out in the media and let people know that they are running for office.
Yes, and so on September 12th, we will count the provisional the provisional ballots that need to be counted and the absentee ballots. By law, we have to give the absentee ballots up until September 12th at 5 o'clock to receive. So at 5:30 p.m., we can start counting.
Will that make any difference in any of the races?
I don't think so. We don't have. I don't have a good count yet. As you know, we receive ballots. We go check the mail on a daily basis. So I don't have a good count right now as of how many were not counted because
maybe this is why Mike hasn't called Lou yet. Maybe this is why Miguel hasn't called Auntie Lou because he's waiting for those last minute votes.
No, Ray Gibson, it's not that many. So we've counted quite a few of the off-island ballots already. Mm-hmm. We did keep the e-ballots. As you know, if an off-island voter wanted an e-ballot, we email it to them, and then they mail it back through the whatever courier they want, the U.S. Post Office, FedEx, or DHL.
All right.
Yes.
So the votes are going to come in. Probably isn't going to make any difference in any of the races that we're looking at. All right, Maria. Look, I know how busy you are, and I'm so glad that you finally got some time to get some rest. That you've been working very, very hard for the voters and the elected population here on Guam. And I can't imagine anybody could do it better.
Oh, I'm sure. There's somebody out there.
She's humble. She's humble, lady.
I'm trying to get one of our staff to step up and say they want to do it, but as of right now, no one wants to do it. They want to keep going as we are.
How you
So
doing?
we'll see what happens. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate your time on the radio. 7:54. There's Maria Pangolina from the Guam Election Commission. And that was basically what I was looking for. Is who else now needs to kiss our ass for airtime? And apparently the answer is anybody that is running for the Ed board is now going to need to start calling in and start talking about the great ideas that you have. And apparently there might still be time to pick up a packet and put it together and get yourself in the game. It says Simon Sanchez, Francis Santos, and Michael Imtiaco. Those chairs are up for grabs. Now, we had Francie on the radio a couple of weeks ago, and I was asked to ask him if he was running again for that seat, and he indicated that he was.
Oh, great, man.
I have not yet heard.
Wait, he works everywhere, man.
Kind of, sort of, the hospital and, the superintendent of the Department of Education, making sure that the short shorts over at the Academy of Our Lady of Guam are not distracting to the boys, which is another thing. Again, we got to lay off the kids here. It's 2022. I guarantee that anybody over at JFK wearing shorts about the same size as, say, my scandalous shorts, their grandmothers wore sexy shorts back in the day. Back in the 60s at John F. Kennedy High School. That was a trend-setting school.
Don't get too short, though.
What?
Don't get too short. Bring back the mean nuns, Ray.
The mean nuns.
Bring them all back.
I don't know what you're talking about, Real Joe. I don't recall having mean nuns at the school. They embraced me and all of my lack of attention and talking in class. They encouraged that kind of thing in me, which is why I do a morning show on the radio.
Ray.
Because they nurtured me. They nurtured my need to editorialize, even in the third grade. Okay, it's 7:56 and change on the Ray Gibson Show. I don't have a lot of time to spin up another story as much as I do want to talk about this that I saw. So, buddy of mine, unfortunately, he's a military guy, and he's leaving town. And he is supposed to have been getting on a plane for about every day for the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hoping to get on the plane today, because if he doesn't get on the plane, the two pets that he's traveling with.
Oh, no, Ray.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
All of the paperwork
So
will have to restart all over
PCSing
again.
out of here? Or?
Exactly. I don't know why he's taking booty cats with him, but whatever,
Yeah.
right? Some people with their animals. I'm just kidding. I love my animals too. But anyway, so I'm kind of concerned about whether or not he's going to be able to make the plane, or whether he's going to have to start the process on the pets all over again. This might be one of the, forget about the short shorts at JFK. This might be one of the biggest issues that is going on Guam, that when you get people talking about it, there's the venom. You can see just the venom on the teeth. Just why is it so screwed up around here? I want to do what's right. I want to adopt the Boonie dog. I go up to Gain. I do all the paperwork. I get the Boonie dog, and then I got a PCS. And now all of a sudden, a dog that's not worth anything is going to cost me $5,000-6,000 to get off island, if I can get a spot on one of the airplanes that'll take it off island. And so there is a story. We're not the only ones out here, kids. As tens of thousands of residents leave Hong Kong, there's a whole other story right there in that line. As tens of thousands of residents leave Hong Kong, the demand for pet travel has overwhelmed airlines, causing extreme prices. So pet owners are turning to private jets to get their four-legged friends to the new homes. And there's a whole story. This is an NBC News, and is the one non-political NBC News story that I'm going to riff on here this morning. And so, what? First of all, why is everybody leaving Hong Kong? And are they not coming here? Did we not? Is there not?
Everyone's leaving that region, Ray.
Well, the Chinese are cracking down. On. It's a lot has happened since 1997. With Hong Kong still largely isolated from the rest of the world because of strict COVID policies, some people leaving the Chinese territory are taking extreme measures to relocate their animals. COVID restrictions and political crackdowns are pushing Hong Kong residents to leave the Chinese territories, but moving their pets can be problematic. Getting a plane out of Hong Kong, where COVID-19 policies have slashed flights and sent ticket prices soaring, is hard enough for humans. It's even harder for Elvis, an 11-year-old Shar-Pei whose owners recently relocated to Singapore. So Elvis got a plane of his own. They actually chartered an airplane for one dog. He might have. I would have invited.
Business or for class?
I would have done for. Shut up. That was good. I got to stop there. At 7:59, stand by. Fox News Live is coming up next. We're KUSG. I got you. This is The Point.
Special Master approved. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Former President Trump's request for third-party oversight of the evidence seized from his home has been approved by a federal judge in Florida.
Judge Eileen Cannon did grant a special master, which means a third-party neutral arbiter will now come in and look at those documents taken from Mar-a-Lago by the federal government, by the FBI on August 8th. Look at those documents and see if any of those documents need to be returned that may be outside the scope of the investigation.
Fox's David Spunt reports the Justice Department is considering its next steps, which could potentially include appealing the ruling. The Justice Department had warned it would slow down the investigation. President Biden assailing so-called MAGA Republicans, speaking to a Labor Day event in Milwaukee.
We have to be stronger and more determined and more committed to saving American democracy than the MAGA Republicans and that guy Alcantara are destroying democracy. Because democracy is at stake.
But Fox's Peter Ducey reports Wisconsin Democrat Senate candidate Mandela Barnes chose not to appear with the president at today's events. Britain will have a new prime minister tomorrow. Foreign Secretary Liz Truss has been picked by the ruling Conservative Party to replace Boris Johnson, who announced his resignation 2 months ago. Britain is in the grips of an acute cost of living crisis. After searching more than 2,100 square nautical miles, the Coast Guard says it's called off the search for 9 people missing in the weekend crash of a float plane in Mutiny Bay, northwest of Seattle. One body was recovered shortly after the crash, which is now being investigated by the National Transportation Safety Board. Still no sign of missing Memphis school teacher Eliza Fletcher, abducted during an early morning jog on Friday. New charges have now been filed against the man suspected in her disappearance, including identity theft and fraudulent use of a credit card. America is listening to Fox News.
Burger King introduces a new line of Southwest Bacon Whoppers. Our Southwest Bacon Whopper offerings feature an avocado spread, seasoned tortilla strips, crispy bacon, creamy spicy sauce, fresh lettuce, tomato, and onions on a warm toasted sesame seed bun. The Southwest Bacon Whopper available in single, double, or junior sizes. Make it a meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. BK's new Southwest Bacon Whoppers available for a limited time only. Burger King, Tumon Bay, Hagutnya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK, your way.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
One of the two men wanted for the weekend stabbing attacks in Canada has been found dead. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police says his injuries were not self-inflicted, and they are still looking for his brother in the murders of 10 people.
Authorities say at least 18 were now injured, an increase from 15 earlier. The attacks took place across an Indigenous community in the Canadian province of Saskatchewan. Police have ID'd the two suspects as 31-year-old Damien Sanderson and 30-year-old Miles Sanderson. Authorities say they could be driving a black Nissan Rogue. The motive remains unclear. Police say drugs may be involved. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police say the attacks took place across 13 crime scenes in the James Smith Cree Nation and the village of Weldon.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, condemning the weekend stabbing attacks and offering condolences to the victims' families. Labor Day excitement at the zoo in Cleveland when a gray wolf managed to escape from her habitat and was spotted walking along the guest path. Staff was able to surround the wolf and safely return her to an off-exhibit holding area while they try and figure out how she got loose. It's not safe to drink yet, but the water is back on in Mississippi's largest city.
Water pressure in the city of Jackson, Mississippi, the state capital, is now reportedly at the highest it's been in decades after the system crashed due to the flooding of the Pearl River. It is still not drinkable, though.
We have, however, reached a place
where people in Jackson can trust that water will come out of the faucet, people in Jackson can trust that toilets can be flushed, and people in Jackson can trust that fires can be fought.
Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves, city and state-operated distribution sites are still doling out bottled water, and school will be in session come tomorrow. Eben Brown, Fox News.
National Weather Service posting flood watches from Alabama into Maine with more rain in the forecast. I'm Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
Choosing health insurance for my family is difficult. I need to know our health insurance will protect us now and in the future. Take Care members have access to the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs, and a high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care. My family choose Take Care. Your family should also consider choosing Take Care. Call 671-647-3526 for more information. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Check out the newest hydro and garden center to hit Guam, Crop King Hydro. We have a huge selection of plant nutrients, soils, hydroponic mediums, organic pest control pumps, plant support, tools, and so much more. Call 635-4769. 635-GROW. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6 at the Dededo Satina Mall, right across from Payless and Paradise Fitness. For whatever you grow, think Crop King Hydro. Crop King Hydro.
In a world where our cuisines unite, the Colonel has joined together your favorite extra crispy KFC fried chicken with an authentic hot and sweet Korean glaze, bringing you KFC's Korean fried chicken for a limited time.
It's back here on Guam. Try KFC's Korean fried chicken and also available in Korean hot chicken wings. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, easy, and secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Half a day, it's 8:06. I'm Donna DeJesus with a look at your local news on The Point. The autopsy has been completed for 69-year-old Cesar Dizon, who was stabbed to death inside DOC last month. Investigators say Dizon was stabbed 10 times. 2 knives used in the killing were confiscated, and a butter knife that had serrated edges was found inside the suspect's locker. While the killer, MB Koto, awaits his day in court for the murder, investigators at the prison continue looking into the officers that were on duty that day. DOC spokesperson Major Anton Ugin says they are looking at the policies and procedures to see if anything was violated or if there was anything the officer could have done or was required to do that would have prevented the situation from happening. Koto was serving time for a 2017 aggravated assault conviction at the time of the stabbing. He has since pleaded not guilty to the murder charges. And a resolution was recently reached between students and the administration at JFK High School in Tamuning about school uniforms. GDOE Acting Superintendent Francis Santos confirmed yesterday that the principal and students were able to meet a resolution last Thursday, but he was not specific about the resolution to the matter. Students were calling for a change in the school's dress code when complaints surfaced on social media citing sexism towards girls. One student shared that more than 50 girls were sent to the office due to their wearing short shorts. In response, a petition was created that garnered over 1,500 signatures. The petition states females should be able to wear something that makes them feel comfortable. Santos says a meeting has been scheduled that includes himself, GDOE Deputy Superintendent of Operations Erica Cruz, and high school principals to follow up on whether other issues arose regarding school uniforms. More news after this.
Go green, go hybrid. Go to Nanbo Insurance, and your next power bill is on us. Insure your hybrid car at Nanbo and get up to $350 towards your next power bill. That's instant savings for keeping our island clean and green. Nanbo has been providing Guam with over 50 years of reliable and affordable auto insurance. At Nanbo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit nanbo.com or call 477-9754 for details.
Tax is looking at ways for the agency to modernize and streamline operations to benefit Guam residents. Director Daphne Mansipit Shimizu notes some of the huge upgrades Tax employees have made in the last several years, including a portal to check the status of refunds and EIP payments and paying refunds by electronic deposits. In October, Tax launched the online renewals or replacements of driver's licenses and filing of 1040 tax forms. Shimizu says the department hopes to modernize even more, especially with more people filing taxes online. They are working to improve efficiency, doing less manual work, and working on more analytical, higher-level work. Shimizu notes that during the public health emergency, employees were working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day to get refunds out and to make sure they got the $500 million in aid for the Advanced Child Tax Credit and the All Rise program. Meanwhile, GVB is working on possible new ways to drive more air traffic to Guam. President and CEO Carl Gutierrez says GVB officials met with U.S. transportation officials in Washington for advice on how to take advantage of unused U.S. military plane slots at the Tokyo Haneda Airport. The number and use of the slots were negotiated under a bilateral agreement between Japan and the U.S. so that carriers from the two countries have space at the airports in their respective countries. He says he will also propose the same routes through Haneda and Guam to other regional carriers, such as Thai Airways, Singapore Airlines, and China Airlines. Gutierrez adds that this is a way to increase the value of Guam by having Haneda Airport in central Tokyo as a jumping-off point. Gutierrez is in Japan for meetings with U.S. officials in Tokyo, then will travel to Manila for meetings with Philippine Airlines. And those are your top stories. Now back to Ray with weather.
Can you just keep me out of what is it, number 2 at Manila Airport, Terminal 2?
What's there?
Nothing.
There's nothing there?
Nothing there. There's nothing. If I have it, the last time I was there, it was a longer layover, and I big shotted my way into the Mabuhay Lounge because it was the only place you could get beer.
Oh, that one. Okay, I don't like that one either.
They're just kind of amazing. You got these little stalls, and after you've had the 11th hot dog, you can't take any more. You can buy water, but that's it. And I said, well, can I buy some booze? And the lady says at the duty free you can, and just sit there. Well, I'm just going to drink the booze at the terminal. No, we got to do something about that. 8:11 in the morning in the Gibson. I thought they were going to fix that. Then you got the new one that United flies in and out of, and I forget what terminal number that one is. And there's a way that you can go through the labyrinth of the building and end up literally right outside the Belmont.
Oh, I think that one's 3.
by Maxim's. Oh God,
they don't have enough labor.
What's that?
They don't have enough laborers, right? They're all around the world building everybody else's stuff.
That's an actual working problem. 8:11 in the morning. That's real Joe Cruz. He's going to get the phones when you call. In fact, I already picked up one. Before we get to the weather, earlier, Bob Kelly and I were talking about a major spectrum auction that was taking place with the FCC and 2.5 gigahertz, and that's going to make your phone's going to get faster. Upload speed, download speed, 5G, all of the big buzzwords that are floating around that are going to be stood up by having access to this kind of spectrum. But there was a lot of attention on the Guam spectrum and the Guam auction. It's since concluded. Now, with details on that, Bob Kelly, go ahead and give me the tech report here.
Well, the winner across the United States that paid the most money was T-Mobile for the whole United States mainland. But the number two bid to get licensing for just Guam was PTI Pacifica at $17,609,000.
Oh, wait a second. Hey, telecom issue. We just lost Bob.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Wasn't me, man.
Well, it's okay. He's actually sent me the figure so I can look at him. PTI Pacifica, $17,690,000, followed by Teleguam Holdings at $16,656,000. Bob is back on the telephone line. And you forgive me. I mean, T-Mobile, everybody knows who that is. Teleguam, I'm going to assume, is GTA Telecom.
That is correct.
And PTI Pacific, who came in, is IT&E. Okay, $17,690,000 for that piece of sector. So I'm going to assume that PTI won.
Oh, well, these are the winners. Now, they put a whole bunch of garbage in the winning that the person has to make their down payment within so many years and so on. But I can assure you that both of those companies have competent staff to make sure the payments get paid on time.
Mm-hmm.
But what's just incredible is how much per population was paid for Guam compared to anywhere else.
It's only 160 some odd thousand of us to spread all of that through.
I know. It's just and that counts every baby and child and everything. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting amount of money to pay. Basically, Guam, if you add the two together, it's over $33 million. Mm-hmm. Guam paid for the 2 licenses 10% of what T-Mobile paid for the entire United States.
So I'm going to propeller head this conversation, and you're going to need to tell me. Obviously, this is going to be good for telecommunications, cell phone services, data services here on Guam. But is there more that we can cram into that pipe? Maybe services that I'm not familiar with. Maybe there's things that you can piggyback certain government SCADAs and things like that. Once you've got that bandwidth that is open now.
Well, it's interesting you talk about SCADA or government services because there's also a new technology that uses the guard band of the cellular, which is not currently used on other things, that carriers can offer some SCADA services. And I'm in discussion with a carrier now about our company doing what's the subscriber end or the SCADA end to be able to utilize that if it makes sense to them financially. And that would get where, for instance, you have the government spending $8,000 or $10,000 per repeater site and having to maintain them for their SCADA and their other communications. That could all be turned over to the carriers, which already have the operational LTE and 5G going into place anyway, and that may make a better sense. So I think there are some things that come up that we'll be able to do here in Guam with this. It's called a flexible use spectrum, the 2.5. And that means it can be used in a variety of things. So obviously spending that much money, you know the carriers are going to try to milk the absolute best use out of it that they can.
But the other thing is, my understanding with the 2.5 gig is a recollection that I have, as we move into heavier data services like 5G and things like that, that would normally be very capital and material intensive, more repeater sites per mile, if you will. But now that we're going to be running it, or that these guys would be running on 2.5, means that they can stretch their legs a little bit without having to hang more sky iron.
Well, there's one problem with that. Technically, you're correct. You can get a larger area that is covered, and then it depends upon the population in the larger area you're covered. So in rural areas, maybe the South, this will be very beneficial. But if you have a whole lot of users,
customers down there,
you've got the maximum amount of data that can go through a particular site. So if you got a whole lot of users in there, you have to make the site smaller, not because the radio doesn't have the range, but you can't cover that large of a number of users that are using high data.
There's some people that I'm going to enjoy just sitting down and drinking a beer and hearing the science float around a table in the next couple of weeks, huh?
I think this is going to be worth some good discussions. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
In fact, I might try to see if I can get you in a beer session where we meet about once a week and have technical discussions, and you can let your propellers spin on your head.
People are going to think I'm smart. I got to go. 8:17. You have a great day. Thanks for the update on that, and congratulations to PTI
and I think you're
Pacifica.
the first media outlet to have that information now.
I think so. As a matter of fact, congratulations, PTI Pacifica. That's IT&E company. $17,690,000 for a piece of spectrum that could change the way we do telecom here on Guam. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
8:18 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. We normally break in, you do headlines, and we did not I got to do weather. Okay, mostly sunny today. You didn't get a sunburn over the weekend. Go get one today. Highs near 88 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight. Mostly sunny again tomorrow. I'm talking about grill marks. Did I tell you, my friend Nicole? So we're at the beach the other day, and everybody's running around with their SPF 110 or something like that. And she says, "Oh my God, Ray, I got to show you." And she showed me, it's one of those little cans, like a spray can, but it did not have an SPF. In fact, I want to say it had a negative SPF value. It's basically tanning butter is what it was. Spray on tanning butter. The idea was to encourage the grill marks. My friend, way to go. Sunset tonight's going to be at 6:29. Hashtag tell the others. 8:18 in the morning. We'll go from that into a little bit of a conversation. Daphne Shimizu is on the line from the Department of Revenue and Taxation. Hey, Daphne, how you doing?
Happy Ray, doing well. Happy Guam and happy Real Joe. Nice to hear from you.
So did you get a sunburn over at the Labor Day picnic?
I wore a hat for a bit, but yes, I did get burned. And then yesterday I ran a little bit, and I ran kind of late. I didn't finish until maybe close to 9, and I got really burnt. So I am burnt. But it was a really beautiful weekend.
Oh, it was.
Nice and sunny, and I couldn't ask for better weather. It was really great.
Did Dana tell you we hung out last week?
No, she did not.
What? No, completely innocent. I wandered into mimosas, and she was already there. So we just kind of hung out and talked story and did all that stuff. Anyway, that's not why I called. The reason why I called, I wanted to see if I could get an answer on this. I'm probably going to be getting, when the bill comes out, indication of another $100 credit with the Guam Power Authority. And I might have asked this question for you before, and I'm not sure if we had the answer. Is the $500 credit taxable? Does that count to revenue tax as income for me?
Well, as I mentioned at that time, when we have issued out payments for aid, specifically for, aid related to COVID relief. So, for example, we did the Judy Mangasa, we did the All Rise. Those were not considered income. The other thing, too, is there is a floor for Forms 1099. So if you receive any income less than $600, again, you won't get a 1099 for it. You won't get a tax document. But generally speaking, the credits that we've been seeing have not been taxable.
Okay, so it's not like GovGuam or GPA is going to send me a 1099 later.
You know what? I would be very surprised if they did, because even if it went to 600 is still, at the floor level for sending a 1099. And then, again, so I don't expect that you will receive it, but I don't know what their process or their procedures are.
Roger that. Okay, and then the other part here is they were talking. I guess somebody caught up with you at the Labor Day picnic, and you were talking about additional automated services that were coming to the Department of Revenue and Taxation. I took a look at the article, and there were too many words in it. Can you just explain to me what it is that you're talking about? What kind of new services will I be able to? What lines will I be able to avoid soon at Rev and Tax?
Well, there's a few areas that we're really working to focus on for the next year. As you know, in terms of Forms 1040, just to clarify, we began to receive Forms 1040 online for tax year 2005. And from 2005 tax year to about 2018, the average online filings that we saw online were about 1,300. And so then when we got to, of course, came into COVID period, we saw an increase because of COVID, like an organic increase because of COVID. But then we also expanded what could be filed online. And when we did that, we went from an average of 1,300 to, I think for 2021 returns, we saw about 7,700. And so we went from less than 2% to over 9%, probably almost 10%.
I loved it. I love the process. Easy. And even though I needed to send the governor some money in that transaction, that part was made very easy as well.
And so we're continuing to identify additional areas where we can expand. Before you would not, if you had dependents, if you had income over $100,000, it was really basically a 1040 easy format. And so we expanded it so there's no income limitation, so that you can take certain credits, so you could file even if you had certain dependents. And we're going to see in 2023 tax filing season additional enhancements. Our team's been discussing that already internally in preparation for next year. Other areas where we're hoping to see some additional enhancements is going to be the area of driver's license, where we've been in discussions about doing what's called a pre-registration process. So instead of having to fill out a paper application form, all of that will be done electronically. You will be able to do it either from your home before you get here, or you could do it when you get here.
Let's go back to the old way.
I got to make. We're working on.
Dear, I got to make the plug again. Let's go back to the old way. This whole graduated driver's license thing, it's a nightmare for parents and students. Can we just go back to the old ways where I take a test, pass the written test, then I go meet with Gus at Agania, drive around there for 10 minutes, and then he signs off and I can get my driver's license?
That's actually a discussion that I had over the weekend with someone as well, who made a comment about the graduated process, in particular graduated process for adults. Now, that's something likely we'll have to look at other jurisdictions to see what the trends are.
No, let's lead the way. Let's be the trendsetters here, Daph. Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. A graduated driver's license is ridiculous. This is why our children are rebelling. Daphne. This is why our children are rebelling. This is the first shot at real independence for them. We make it so damn hard for them to get through. I can't, if I remember when Miami got her driver's license finally, it felt like, and I think you felt it there because I know I put a lot of pressure on you to help me out wherever I could. But it just it felt like the weight of the world was lifted off of our shoulders, and now she's finally got this license, and it just so much of the process that just seems to be almost punitive. It felt like we were punishing all of the kids for a bunch of idiots a couple of decades ago.
I absolutely agree with you that, perhaps it's something we need to look at in terms of, again, just addressing and assessing how the graduate process has or has not.
Well, especially we need these kids to go and join the business community. We need to get them on the job and starting to work and become productive members of the community. And I think the best way to do that is to ease them very gently into the process. And I mean, back in the olden days, you get somebody who screws around on the road, you take them in front of Judge Abadi, and Judge Abadi is all of a sudden going to basically mortgaging off your future in traffic fines and citations. They just do that if the kids are screwing around. But the idea that we've got to take 2 years out of their lives in order to get this driver's license. I'm sorry, I've said too much already, but I'm glad that you guys are already thinking about it. Be the trendsetter. Be the change that you want, Daphne. Make it easier for people. One less line to stand in at Rev and Tax. Can you imagine?
Always looking at ways to get better and be better. As long as we're always looking at it, I agree. I think that, again, progress is always important. But, as I mentioned, likely it's time for us to look at that. I'm not familiar because I myself did not go through the graduating process. And my son actually ended up getting his license in a different jurisdiction. He actually took the entire test. In fact, he in Las Vegas, he got in line 3 times on Saturday, and to take the test, he went through the whole process in a separate jurisdiction.
That's like sending the kids to the Philippines for their confirmation.
No, well, he went through the whole process of taking the test and everything, but in a different jurisdiction. So I'm not familiar with Las Vegas, but here in Guam, I am not I did not go through it myself. I understand what's involved in it, but I didn't go through it myself. But that's something we should probably look at, or we could take a look at.
Oh, yeah. Fine. I'm sure it would be very, very easy to find a mom and a dad that have been through the graduated license process with their kids.
Of course, the idea, right, is that education and being in the classroom, though, because there's 32 hours of classroom time and 8 hours of road time, that the classroom time is supposed to help, right, in terms of the concepts, helping them to understand. And perhaps if that's not, something that's happening, we need to look at and talk with the school.
That's in the book.
Find out what's going on there.
They didn't have the classes at school. Do it like Squellen Poly.
9 months.
Just do it like that. 8:26 in the morning. Somebody's. I'm looking at some of the questions here and some of the comments on the Facebook Live. GovGuam is on a hiring spree, but the service level at DMV is going down. Is there something wrong with the equation? I guess basically making a point here that. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The comments start a little bit earlier than I thought. Stand by one. Joe Takai saying, Ray, kindly ask her, as if there was another way to talk to Daphne, if anybody from Rev and Tax will answer the phones, and what are the real phone numbers, especially over at DMV?
Well, you know what? So we do have a call center you can call. You can call 635-1840. 635-1841. We have a call center. Our team should be answering our phone calls there. Sometimes, of course, if you're on the line, they may not answer. It's difficult for our driver's license team to answer phone calls directly because we do have the majority of our team on the floor processing. Also, we have been, like everyone else, impacted by some level of COVID. So even, I think, of course, we're grateful that if people are now getting COVID, they're not getting as ill. But, we do at times have people who are out because of COVID. But our team is working to try to address. And that's why, as I was mentioning with regards to pre-registration, the hope is that we'll be able to reduce our processing times if we're having people, not fill out paper application forms, but fill out things electronically. So when they're sitting at the processing room with our driver's license team members, our team isn't having to enter that information there. So we're constantly looking at ways to improve. And you know what? Again, very soon we should be able to see the launch of the pre-registration process so that way people can do that online.
All right. Tommy Bernardo was asking about why stop mail-in DMV licensing procedures. And Donna D. Chimed in and said not everybody can take a whole day off to line up for 8 hours and possibly be turned away.
Right. And so the other thing that we have been talking about, because most especially during, as you know, our high season, our summertime, and then, of course, as we get into Christmas break and spring break. And so our team has been discussing, different options for allowing for people to be able to submit their applications. And one of those is to also allow, again, for people to submit their applications by Dropbox, like what we did during COVID.
Yeah.
We were hopeful that as we moved online that wouldn't be necessary. But again, that's something that we're assessing, and especially within this month, because we have seen a huge influx of people here. And I will tell you, I have gone down there myself and seen a sea of people. And of course, we don't want people to have to wait here for hours and hours. And in order to be able to get a license, we understand that there are things that they have to do. And so that's something that our team has been discussing. We're hopeful that we'll be able to, again, provide additional enhancements so that people will be able to, won't have to stay here, all day long in order to be able to get a license.
I mean, if there was free food, if there was, like happy hour or something like that, I can understand it. Sandra Regis, Biba says, why is there still an option for a not real ID? Who wants a regular Guam driver's license? Shouldn't everybody be getting a real ID by now?
First of all, the real ID deadline is not until 2023, and that is something that, again, was pushed back because of COVID. It initially, I think, was 2020, and then it was moved back to 2023. And the other thing is, if a real ID compliant ID is really only necessary for people who maybe don't have a passport and need to go on base to access a federal facility.
Right.
A lot of people, especially because we're on Guam, and when we travel through foreign country, a lot of people who travel do have passports, and so your passport is also able to be utilized to travel. But we don't require people to get a real ID compliant ID. Some people don't wish to get a real ID compliant ID, and again, you only really need it if you're going to be accessing a federal facility. And so, there are some people who do not, and we don't require it.
So my friend Dennis is saying mine and many other licenses are falling apart. Apparently, he has to whip it out when he goes to USA and places like that. That would be the Club USA as opposed to the United States of America. But he says his license is falling apart. Can he get a new one without standing in line?
So you can absolutely get a replacement online. Again, you'll have to meet certain criteria. I think your license had to have been issued after November 2016. And so, but if you get onto myid.guam.gov, you will need information on your driver's license in order to be able to request for the replacement. But you can get that, you can request for that replacement online at myid.guam.gov. You'll have to create or register and create an account. And once you enter all of your information, and of course, we go ahead and we mail that out to you. And then I know people who have done that, and they've had not a difficult time, and they've gotten in the mail. So you can absolutely do that, Dennis. Get online at myid.guam.gov, and as long as you
.guam.gov. Okay.
.guam.gov, and as long as you have, again, you meet certain criteria, your license isn't older than one that was issued prior to 2016. I think it was November 2016. We should have you in the system. And again, you will need to have your ID in front of you in order to request for that replacement so that you can enter the information that's on that
right.
ID.
8:32 in the morning. Dabney, it's always fun talking with you. Don't go and look at the comments. I'm just kidding. They're exactly what I'm sure you've come to expect in 4 years. I hope no matter what the outcome is in the upcoming general election, that we keep you over at the place. Any word on when you might be moving into a new location?
You know what? Our lease actually ends in this next year, so we'll definitely have to go out for bid. And of course, we want to try to keep our team together as much as possible. But we do have about 55,000 square feet, and we have 300 parking spaces. So,
dude, I got a great spot for you guys. I got a great spot for you guys.
We did an RFI a few years ago, and I think that allows for us to see what is out there, and likely we'll end up having to do that. But we're going to have to do that very soon as we come into the next year. But Ray, regarding your listeners and all their comments, I just want to thank you for bringing them up. And of course, it's not easy to receive criticism or at times, but you know what? At the end of the day, I always want to be better. And so, whatever comments they may have, please relay. And again, we'll do our best to again make things better. That's the goal. Progress equals happiness, right? We're always trying to get better, and nothing's perfect. But I want to thank your listeners for their comments, and of course, also thank them for their patience, and we're going to work to try to make things better and continue to try to make things better here at the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
I got you. A couple of other comments, and I'm going to let you go, but I'll read the comments so that they know that I've registered them with you. It says here, I'm having my son go to Saipan to get his driver's license. Again, it's like going to the Philippines, taking your kids to go see a priest in the Philippines. Get your confirmation out there so you don't have to do 5 years of a squalid pullet here.
Right. Be careful, though, if your child or someone goes to the CNMI to get their license, they will have to, in order to convert it here or anywhere, they'll have to hold it for a while in order to get that converted. So,
but there is a conversion. They would be able to convert around expiration. Then they can take it to DMV and get a Guam driver's license.
For certain of the CNMI, areas, there is a conversion. So just be careful. Not for all of the areas of CNMI.
Those license plate stickers should be good for 5 years, or better yet, forever. I shouldn't have to pay to display my innocence before proven guilty of driving without liability insurance. Interesting concept, the annual registration. I know that they made some changes to that years ago, but my car is now old enough that I have to register it annually now.
You know what? I actually like the idea of moving to a longer validity period for our vehicle registration.
Mm-hmm.
I know part of it may have to do with, of course, trying to make sure the vehicles are safe, et cetera. But, again, I'm not opposed to that. In fact, that would help us in terms of being able to, of course, manage, some of the workload that we have there. But we do have,
I like the way you're thinking.
Registered on Guam. And so, of course, if we, again, maybe put certain things into place on an annual basis, for example, maybe have people sign affidavit to advise if they, have complied with certain inspections, et cetera, perhaps that should be fine. But again, those are things that we're not opposed to. Again, always trying to look at ways to get better. And, so I'm not opposed to that particular item at all.
Yeah, well, as we did before with driver's licenses, now you can get them, 5 years is now the new long term for a driver's license?
Yes, so we have a 3-year option and a 5-year option. And, of course, our team as well is not opposed to even having longer. We've even talked about, because, for example, passports
go 10 years.
Valid for about 10 years. If you're an adult, if you're a child, it's only 5. But so, again, if a federal ID can be valid for a period of 10 years, right, then why not our local credential? So
this kind of common sense talk, Daphne, this kind of common sense talk could actually get Lou reelected. I'm just saying. I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
All right. Have a great day, Ray. Have a great day, Guam.
You know what? There's Daphne Shimizu from the Department of Revenue and Taxation.
I just tried the thing. I didn't go all the way.
MyIDGuam.com?
Yeah.
And?
It's $28 to replace your driver's license. And you just have to put in
the existing information.
Yes. And then answer some questions like, do you have...
I'm assuming they got a picture, or do I upload a new picture?
No, I think they just do a reprint. But if you have any edits or changes, for example, like...
Where I live.
Well, yeah, I guess. No, I don't see that. I just see like the way you look, I guess.
I didn't have a beard when I took my last.
It doesn't
or if you change your gender rate.
Let me try going
to the next. Or if I changed my gender.
But it also has voter registration.
No, I think that's a new, which is the thing that everybody was saying.
Motor voter.
The motor voter thing. So when you get the new whatever it is, it will automatically register you at the Department of Revenue at Guam Election Commission, whether you want to or not. And they were saying that's why the numbers were up so high.
That's Mary Torres's thing, isn't it?
I think so. Was all of these new people that showed up because of the motor voter registration, but didn't bother going to vote, which is why now we've got this low percentage of voter turnout. Anyway, 8:37 in the morning. 8:37, Donna. We got to get to our last look at news and headlines. And wait a second. Do I have? I have. It is being referred to as an encouraging COVID forecast. I know.
From when?
I feel compelled to talk about it. I'll do it after the headlines. Be right back. Don't
Get
move.
ready to save up and chow down with Pacific Points. Now you can redeem Pacific Points for UnoGo wallet credits and enjoy huge savings on food delivery. Order from over 80 restaurants and have it delivered straight to your door. Continue earning points when you fuel up at Shell, shop at Foodies, purchase ITNE prepaid load, and pay your monthly ITNE bill. Then get ready to claim your rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Are you looking for a new place to hang out with your friends? Let's go along the sidelines at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Located at 154 Iriarty Road, Unit 4 and 5 in Tamuning behind Royal Bigs. Sidelines, a hidden gem with nothing but great things to offer. Great atmosphere, great food, top shelf drinks, and a great team. What are we waiting for? Let the fun begin at Sidelines Bar and Grill. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. See you there.
Gas is expensive, so let the bank come to you. Through our remote deposit capture, you can deposit your checks into your account from your phone. And with our Dynamite Bank Pacific Visa debit card, you can use your money anytime, anywhere. It's the perfect combo.
Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender. Member FDIC. Crank it up.
In 20 minutes, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. As I said, an encouraging COVID forecast. For those, there are apparently still people that are under the impression that there's COVID. Yeah, that's, that it's real.
You're alive.
Multiple research teams have put together some forecasts shared with federal officials foresee stable or declining COVID hospitalizations in the early fall. The Washington Post. Yeah, that is usually my first
there you
trigger.
Go, the WAPO.
The scenarios show the possibility of a late fall surge. And I'm sure that there's all kinds of people that went giddy on that, a possibility of a late fall surge. Yay, people will die.
If you don't die, you'll live.
A new variant remains the biggest wild card. As usual, we could have a surge, and there could be a new variant. Several factors, including the approval this week of reformulated boosters and the buildup of immunity against the latest strain of the virus, could suppress some of the cold season spread. It's a cold. Justin Lessier, a UNC epidemiologist, said nothing appears to be projecting anything like an Omicron wave. What we're watching, many big employers, including Apple, are using Labor Day as the line in the corporate sand to get serious about bringing people back to the office. This is what they're looking at. They're looking at the numbers, and the forecasts are, maybe nothing final on these. So it's time for us to get back to work, ladies and gentlemen. Many executives say a post-Labor Day return is their best hope of getting workers on a more regular office schedule before the fall and winter holidays. In my mind, you gotta do that Elon Musk thing. You got to do the Elon Musk thing. Look, we're coming back to the office now. And if you're not back in the office when everybody else is coming back to the office, we will believe that is your resignation. And we'll deal with it accordingly. What do you think? Is that the way to do that? Or is this, as Jerry Roberts has pointed out a couple of times in the Extra Point, sometimes you got to baby these people, get them back to work, or just have snacks. We're going to have a snack, and we're going to have a clinic, and we're going to have some place where you can lay down in the afternoon and have a nappy nap.
Or if it works, some jobs work where you can actually work remotely, since they had to do it during the pandemic. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean, not everybody's antisocial.
Right? Like you have to come in a certain days of the week. Because
three on, 2 off. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still working, but you don't have to do it at the office. I think the deal is people got used to the idea that we don't ever have to go back to work, and I don't ever have to commute or.
But I like the no people thing.
Parking and as I said, not everybody's antisocial. 8:42. Did you already do the headlines?
No.
Oh, let's do that now. Donna D's got their last big look at news and headlines now. How about Donna? What happened?
The Guam Election Commission will be tabulating all provisional and absentee ballots in the final certified count next Monday, September 12. A release states that all absentee ballots received by September 12 will also be included as long as they are postmarked on or before August 27. Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says primary election results will be certified September 13. Packets for the CCU and Education Board are due by this Friday. General election ballots will need to be sent out by September 23. And the family of longtime GPD officer Matthew Terlahi is hoping to raise enough money to help him get surgery to treat a serious lung disease. His daughter Meilani says he had been an officer for nearly 30 years and all the stress, poor diet, and smoking took its toll. The lack of access to certain medical care or facilities on Guam makes it necessary to travel to receive the care. The Terlahi family has a GoFundMe page but has also scheduled a car wash on Sunday, September 11 from 8 to 3 at downtown King B in Anigua across from Lujan Tire Shop. And September is National Preparedness Month, focusing on planning for disasters as a way to protect life and personal property. As part of the national event, the Guam Offices of Homeland Security and Civil Defense will be holding a National Preparedness Month poster contest for local students from elementary through high school. And that was your last look at local headlines on The Point.
All right. Well, we got to include in this one here, and I'm just going to go straight to the call and welcome Sam Shinohara from United Airlines on the line. I saw this in my feed on Facebook yesterday, and I said I definitely want to talk about this tomorrow. It's the screenshot of the front page of the Saipan Tribune. Big headline says CNMI welcomes the first Narita Saipan direct flight in years. That is a big, huge, humongous deal, isn't it, Sam?
Absolutely, Ray. Half a day. Good morning.
So when did this all start? I didn't realize that you guys were even working on it.
Well, hey, we've been talking with the folks in the CNMI for a really long time. They've really, from the governor to the MVA to the airport just the trade, tourism trade folks over there have really been working hard to try to put out a program that makes sense. And, obviously Japan's been on lockdown and, with the recent announcement of some changes, everybody felt like, this was a good time for us to kind of work a deal out to start direct service between Narita and Saipan. And so we're really happy. It's the first new market launch for United Airlines in the Pacific region
been a while.
Since COVID. Yeah, it's been a really long time, so it's really exciting for us. It's good for the folks in the CNMI, and if you haven't been to Saipan recently, I encourage you to go, Ray. The place is super beautiful, and it's got a lot to offer. I think it's the type of thing that Japanese will be excited about doing. We hope in the very near future.
Well, I was going to say, it's in my mind, these kind of launches that you're talking about here are kind of chicken and the egg here. There's airlift. Is there demand?
Precisely. Hey, truth be told, bookings are pretty modest right now, right? And so, but we feel pretty strongly, as does the MVA. Over there that, we got to start somewhere, and we got to lay the seed and make sure we fertilize it. They're 100% in over there in the CNMI, and they've done a really good job working with all of the big tour consolidators, but not ignoring the small guys that kind of operate from an OTA perspective. And so I really think they've got a good business plan, and they've got solid backing and consensus amongst the travel trade. So I think this is something that's going to work. It's going to take a little while for us to spool up, but it really is. It's a good partnership between United Airlines and the government of the CNMI.
There are some new attractions out there, to be sure. The same way that Shelley's going to be opening up the Crown Plaza before too much longer down here. Likewise, they've got one up there as well. Did they not convert the Fiesta into a Crown up there?
They sure are working on it. And my understanding is they will have their soft opening very, very soon. In fact, I don't know if it, maybe you want to call George and ask him for details, but I think they're jockeying for who's going to get the doors open first. But I know they're working feverishly hard. I had the pleasure of a little bit of a tour the last time I was over there. The place looks beautiful. And I think visitors will be amazed at the offerings that the Crown's going to be able to provide them.
What the two of them share, and anybody that's ever been to the Fiesta in Saipan and the Fiesta on Guam knows they've got these beautiful backyards, right? We have a swimming pool over here, but maybe the best looking beach and all of that whole western side of Saipan up there is in Garapan, just gorgeous. And then the same thing down here in Tumon. That's always been one of my favorite first date beaches to ever go to. So I'm looking forward to that. All kinds of stuff happening, casino business, military business back and forth between the main island of Saipan and Tinian. My understanding is that there's quite a lot of travel going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of things happening. In fact, not this past trip, but the trip before, it was a little bit difficult just to get a rent-a-car.
I heard.
Just because there's just a lot of traffic happening. Clearly not as much as anyone would like to see. I think the volumes are still, at a level that is, not going to be the salvation for the economy. But, we really understand that we got to start somewhere. And really being the CNMI's, first choice in terms of reopening up the Japan market, we're really proud of that partnership, Ray.
Well, what about moving in the other direction? I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to get a visa just to get back into Japan. What is it? Medical and business is all they're doing right now. Not doing a whole lot by way of inbound tourism. But is there a lot of folks from the CNMI that are now looking at Narita if either a destination or using that to take advantage of other United carrier travel?
Well, Ray, two points to that. As of tomorrow, it gets a lot easier for people to get into Japan to experience the beauties that Japan offers, right? And so, you still need to coordinate, the travel booking and your arrangements with the tour operator, but you no longer have to be guided on an official tour. So, that makes it a little bit easier, but you still got to go through the visa process. And so, fingers crossed, that changes soon. It sounds like it will, but, as Japan has been taking baby steps to kind of reopen their economy, and those have been happening, kind of every couple weeks, every month, they've been doing something a little bit different. So, including raising the caps from 20,000 visitors a day to 50,000 visitors a day. We used to get into Japan, just over 100,000, so they're about 50% of their capacity right now. So a lot of opportunity there. But specifically for the CNMI folks, beyond just getting to Japan, they no longer have to do a one-stop over Guam to get beyond Japan, whether they're going on United to the United States of America or traveling to different Asia destinations, they can do that directly because our flights connect beautifully. So we arrive into Saipan. It's great for the Japanese visitor because they can finish an entire workday and leave, at 9 o'clock at night, come into Saipan early in the morning, and then depart. For folks that want to go back, our departure time is at 7 in the morning out of Saipan. Kind of arrives before lunchtime, gives them the opportunity to connect just to about anywhere out of Japan for sure.
What about your flight attendants? Are we using Guam or CNMI-based flight attendants for these runs?
Of course, Ray. We're using the Guam team. I don't think anybody provides the island hospitality like our team here on Guam. So for sure, we're using the Guam team. There's a little bit of they got a little bit of a layover in Narita while they're there, and a couple of hours on the ground in Saipan as well.
That's okay because that's how I get my Royce chocolates.
There you go.
To make sure that gets done. Now, a couple other creature comfort questions for you for people that might be thinking about booking a ride on United, either from Guam or the CNMI, where they might be listening. Are the lounges open when I get to Narita City? Will the world famous United Lounge with the beer dispenser, right? Will that be waiting for me?
Oh, Ray, there's always beer waiting for you no matter where you go, Ray.
True.
It might not be at the lounge, but there's always beer waiting for you.
Still got people problems.
A couple of things. I caught a little bit of you and Joe going back and forth about the laborer situation, if you will. Believe it or not, that's a little bit of our challenge, both in Tokyo and on Guam. But we're working through that. We're working with our vendor right now to get the Guam Lounge open. We look in good shape. Hopefully within the next 60 days at the latest, we've got that place open. Probably less than that. We're working through, I think, targeting the latter part of October to get that place open. And then the same thing for Japan. Believe it or not, we are struggling to hire people in Japan. It's become really, really challenging for us. Our vendor, for obvious reasons, we've been shut down for a long time. They've displaced their employees, and trying to get them back has been a little bit of a challenge. And so for the last 3 months or so, we have been trying to get that place open. The good thing is the facility itself is ready to go. We're just waiting for the supplier to be able to provide the manpower, and we're pretty close to that. So that'll likely, hopefully, open a little bit sooner than the Guam Lounge, just because we started trying to get that open a little bit earlier. So working through that, Ray, but very, very soon. Not soon enough for anybody, but soon. What's the
workaround? United isn't the only lounge in that building. There's another one, but it's way the hell down at the end of the hall, right?
Yeah, well, there's a couple. ANA's got a couple. That's our partner lounge.
Yeah.
It is a Star Alliance lounge, and it is available to folks. But, with the recent announcements and the changes into entry protocols into Japan, the volumes are starting to pick up, and so it is getting a little bit tight. It is getting a little bit tight for sure. So, we're feverishly working to try to get our lounge open so that we can take care of more of our customers. And quite frankly, ANA's been banging on our door saying, hey, you guys really need to open your lounge because we could use some overflow.
We're getting too busy at our side. So
for sure.
8:53, Dave Duane is saying maybe I better get up to Saipan. Cleaner, better maintenance of roads and overgrown foliage along the roadways, among other reasons to go and visit. Now, there's a new airline player in town that is working with United. How is that working out? Are they full flights back and forth? Does it remind you of the old United 5 times a day runs that we used to have back in the day?
Yeah, not quite yet, Ray. The relationship is in its infancy. We're really focused on places where we don't go to today. So, for example, Tinian and Rota, and then using this outfit to provide us with some connections to get some of those customers, to get on our flight for whatever particular reason, whether it's for leisure travel, whether it's for medical, whether it's for meetings or business. We're doing our best to try to partner with just about anyone that we can work with to provide, kind of consistent, reliable service. And so it's just starting, so, we'll see how it goes. But, we have a lot of good faith that it's going to work out okay.
Well, I got my fingers crossed because I kind of like the idea of being able to almost on a lark, just kind of last-minute panic travel to get up to Saipan. I've got more than 1 or 2 friends that have been inviting me on a consistent basis. My understanding is they don't even care whether you're vaccinated. If they bother asking, it'd surprise anybody. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. Anything else going on in the wonderful world of United that your passengers and friends need to know about?
Yeah, hey, we got a lot of things going on, Ray. We're working really hard to try to get Japan going. It's been a slow start for us. Certainly, but a big risk for us starting all of kind of reopening all of the cities that we have. But we're pushing really hard. Yeah. The team on the ground in Japan is really engaged with the travel trade over there. We've been doing as much as we can to bring media and influencers over to the island and this part of the world just to kind of help tell the story. But hey, the 2 things that the first thing is Dave said a lot about Saipan. Can't disagree with him at all. Saipan is beautiful. They do a really good job taking care of the product. I really encourage our folks here on Guam to really invest a little bit more.
Likewise.
Just we got a long way to go. The grass. The trash. All of those different things. You don't see that in Saipan. And so, certainly that's not something that we should be thinking about as a competitive advantage for sure. So if we get some good, community focus and emphasis on that, it really does take everybody.
Well,
It's not DPW, it's not GVB, it's everybody. We got to take ownership of, making sure the property's beautiful.
Well, you and I could spend all day talking about that. Yeah. Just something as simple as putting trash cans out at these locations, and they don't for some reason because they're afraid that people are going to bring their home trash and fill them up. And you know what? Some people will. So you empty the trash more often. Can we do that for $1 billion budget? I don't know. I had an opportunity to do something nice with the god-awful butt-ugly chain-link fence. They took it down over the weekend and put up another god-awful butt-ugly chain-link fence. Welcome to Tumon, guys. 8:56. Sam, I'll talk to you pretty soon. I'll see you soon. Shelley says hello.
Right. Hey, Thanks, Ray.
All right, amigo. 888-8255-888-TALK. 857 and change. There's one conversation. The other one has been part of our news most of the morning, lifting a story from KUAM and Nestor Lecanto. The Guam Visitors Bureau is working on possible new ways to drive more air traffic to Guam. Carl Gutierrez says GVB has met with U.S. transportation officials in D.C. for advice on how to take advantage of an unused U.S. military plane slot at the Tokyo Haneda Airport. Now, you might not know what the value of this is, but the Haneda Airport is in Tokyo. It's not an hour aboard a train, the Shinkansen. It is not 90 minutes aboard a bus that will take you from the depot in Tokyo up to the where the airport is, out in old farm country. So Haneda, when I was a little kid, Shelley and I remember the first trip that we ever went to Japan, and probably the second, third, and fourth trip after that, we landed directly in Tokyo. I mean, bang, right there, and you get in a taxi cab, and your hotel, the Otani or a Prince or something like that, literally minutes away. All right, so that's good for us as inbound traffic. It's good for them as outbound tourists because you're sitting around and it's getting to be happy hour on a Friday and the boss says, hey, let's go to the izakaya. And you go, yeah, let's go to the one on Guam. And you go and you get a handful of clothes and a suitcase to pack it all in, and you could literally be on a plane to Guam in minutes. As opposed to an hour and a half. Really is fantastic. And whatever you couldn't pack in Japan, you could obviously buy here on Guam. It's a great way to do business. Then once upon a time, they turned it into a domestic thing, but it looks like they've got at least one or two international slots. The actual guy that does the bilaterals with Japan gave us some insight on how to get it done, said Carl. So don't keep pushing for U.S. airlines. They're underutilizing. Foreign carriers utilizing Haneda. So the first one I chose was Philippine Airlines. How about taking people from Haneda to Guam to Manila this way and back the same way? Good work, Gov. Good work. We'll see how all of that works and who he has to talk to. He is supposed to be on the ground today for meetings with U.S. officials in Tokyo, then to Manila for meetings with the folks from Philippine Airlines. And I know some of the folks over at Philippine Airlines. I think it's going to be a productive conversation. We'll watch and see how it plays out. Generally, whatever the man touches turns to gold. So we'll watch and see what the reports are coming out of Japan, this first one. 8:59 and change. Standby. Fox News is coming up here next. And when we return, what did you have for breakfast? I happened upon a phrase called the dog's bollocks once upon a time, and I don't know why, but it's in my Facebook feed now, and someplace where we ought to be able to go and get a full-blown English breakfast. Details are on the way on The Ray Gibson Show.
This is a Fox News alert. Canadian mass stabbing suspect is dead. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. The search for one of two brothers wanted for the stabbing deaths of 10 people in Saskatchewan over the weekend has ended with the discovery of another body.
It was confirmed by Saskatchewan RCMP Forensic Investigation Section that the deceased is Damien Sanderson.
Rhonda Blackmore, an assistant commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, reports Sanderson did not kill himself. His younger brother, Miles, is still on the loose and may be injured as well. They consider him to be armed and dangerous. The two men suspected of stabbing 10 people to death and injuring 18 others in a series of attacks on Sunday. The motive remains unclear. A federal judge granting President Trump's motion for a special master to oversee the evidence seized from his home in last month's raid at Mar-a-Lago.
It slows down the Justice Department investigation into the thousands of pages of documents taken from Mar-a-Lago on August 8th. Hundreds of pages marked classified. The government, though, may continue to review and use the material seized for purposes of intelligence classification and national security assessments.
And Fox's David Spunt reports the Justice Department could appeal the ruling. President Biden telling a Labor Day event in Milwaukee that MAGA Republicans threaten America's democracy, but he said not all in the GOP are MAGA Republicans. He also appeared Monday evening in suburban Pittsburgh. The search for survivors in Sunday's float plane crash offshore from Seattle has been called off. No sign of the pilot or the 8 missing passengers. Searchers say heavy current in the area is likely moving the plane's wreckage. Rafael Nadal has been defeated at the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York, losing to 22nd seed American Francis Tiafoe in Monday's fourth-round play. It ends Nadal's 22-match winning streak in Grand Slam tournaments. America is listening to Fox News.
Half a day, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apo.com.
Burger King introduces a new line of Southwest Bacon Whoppers. Our Southwest Bacon Whopper offerings feature an avocado spread, seasoned tortilla strips, crispy bacon, creamy spices, lettuce, tomato, and onions on a warm toasted sesame seed bun. The Southwest Bacon Whopper available in single, double, or junior sizes. Make it a meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. BK's new Southwest Bacon Whoppers available for a limited time only. Burger King, Tumon Bay, Hagutnya, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK, your way.
There are new worries about a troubled nuclear power plant in Ukraine as fighting in the area continues.
The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant knocked offline once again. This also took place over the weekend after shelling destroyed a key power line. But this situation is more serious as it was the last transmission line on Europe's largest nuclear power plant. Experts from the International Atomic Energy Agency remain at the site, and they're expected to brief the Security Council tomorrow on Tuesday about the conditions and the severity of the situation at the power plant. Both Kyiv and Moscow accuse each other of planning provocations outside the site. In Kyiv, Ukraine, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Power experts in California say the state will face its highest chance of blackouts this week as the brutal heat wave continues to blanket the state with triple-digit temperatures. As people crank up their air conditioners, the state forecasts a record level of energy use that could exceed supply this evening and hit a record high for demand tomorrow. State issuing more urgent appeals for conservation. Mideast energy-producing countries say they will slow their output next month.
With demand falling and fears of a recession rising, OPEC nations and their allies say they'll cut crude oil production by 100,000 barrels per day in October. The move offsets a mostly symbolic increase of the same amount this month. Oil prices topped $120 per barrel in June, but have fallen sharply in recent weeks, cutting into the cartel's profits, while drivers in the U.S. reap the benefits at the gas pumps. AAA on Monday reporting a national average of $3.78 for a gallon of regular, down from a record high of more than $5 in June. Steve Rappaport, Fox News.
The search for missing schoolteacher Eliza Fletcher has taken Memphis police and FBI agents to the Noncono Creek area in Memphis as federal charges have been filed against her alleged abductor. I'm Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
Wow, nice smile. So perfect and all.
Thanks. I owe it all to Dr. Robert Yang and his smile team. They do wonders for a healthy, happy mouth.
Got teeth? Don't wait until they hurt. Schedule your routine checkup and cleaning with Dr. Yang and his smile team. Suite 119 in the East West Business Center, Upper Tumon. Call 647-8702 or 3.
The best thing that happened to teeth since toothpaste.
Dr. Yang and his smile team.
They make smiles happen.
It's the 76 Circle K and GTA Prepaid Ultra Giveaway. From now until August 31st, enter to win a Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, plus a $600 76 gas card, and more. Come into any participating 76 Circle K location, buy $5 or more of GTA Prepaid Load, and receive an entry form for every $5 you spend. The more you top up, the more chances you have of winning. Stay connected and win this summer with GTA Prepaid and Circle K. Visit GTA.net for more information.
Becoming a homeowner for the first time could be a little nerve-wracking, but it certainly doesn't have to be, especially if you have Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty guiding you every step of the way. So have no fear. She also specializes in land sales, commercial leasing, local residential sales leasing, also military and corporate new relocation. So for all your real estate needs, take the first step in the right direction with Lolita Kamet of Hoffaday Realty by calling 671-688-6743. That's 671-688-6743.
Can do 6 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by Wendy's. Still celebrating summer with their strawberry chicken salad, applewood smoked bacon. There's strawberries in here too. FYI. Nice little pinky strawberry quick thing going on. We've got the applewood smoked bacon, herb-marinated grilled chicken breast, candied almonds, and a 3-cheese blend of cheese. Plus a sweet and tangy champagne vinaigrette served on a bed of fresh lettuce. Only at Wendy's. We got your Ray Gibson Show, also brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with the local home.
Rediscover talk radio here. Your FM News Talk Superstation. This is The Point.
Go. So much to do, so little time, only an hour left in this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. All right, program notes. We weren't here yesterday. So maybe might be some people going, wait a second, didn't I hear that? No, you did not hear it yesterday. It's a figment of your imagination. Maybe it's just I come to you in a dream at night. But we are going to be here, obviously, for the rest of today, all day tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. On Wednesday afternoon, one of two things is going to happen. I'll either get a page from the guys, from the guys over at the courthouse saying that I've got jury duty on Thursday, or I will call, and then somebody will tell me I've got jury duty on Thursday. I have not yet had a Thursday off, so I'm going to assume that the guys over at the Attorney General's have got more than enough thugs to keep me and Jury J busy every Thursday, except Christmas and New Year's and whatever, Thanksgiving. At any rate. And then we get the rest of it. We get Thursday, maybe a short show on Thursday, but all day Friday as well. And I think that's all the programming notes that you need. Now, much has been made in the last couple of weeks about nominating the radio station for Pika's Best. The nominations have now concluded. Somebody asked me, do I know whether we're in the running or not? I said, I don't know. I've got a couple of people that still talk to me in the print business, but they said that they were sworn to an oath of confidentiality. Otherwise,
the election process.
Otherwise, the mean nuns. I don't know. There's going to be mean nuns. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I've got my fingers crossed that once again, all three of the radio stations of choice broadcasting will be nominated. I think just getting the nomination for Pika's Best is one thing. Nah, that's bull. I want to win. So be listening for details on when we might send you to some place where you can vote, and we'll probably harass the hell out of you over a couple of weeks during the voting period to make sure that you get it in. And now we do this for a variety of reasons. There are no ratings. Somebody asked me over the weekend about how do you guys know what the number one radio station is on Guam? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, we don't know that. But there are some kind of metrics that we can look at. When I mention something on the radio, like, hey, go buy a new Nissan car today. Hey, got all kinds of, 2.99% APR, super easy financing, that kind of thing. When we start having conversations like that, and then people come back to me and said, thanks very much for the advice. I went out and did exactly what you said. I went and I saw Van and the guys over at Nissan, and they put me in a brand new one, and it is my favorite car of all of my life. I want to buy two. I'm enjoying this so much. There's a kind of feedback. It's a lot easier now than it used to be because we've got different ways that we're using digital technology. I'm a little too inside radio here, but we have got obviously multiple streams that are picked up by multiple other stream companies. So we technically this radio station sends out one audio stream, and it goes to a company in the States, and that company then sends it out to whoever wants to listen to it, whoever wants to attach to it, like a TuneIn or an Alexa or something like that. We just tell them where they can log into the feed, and they take care of the rest of it. And every time we do that with another one of these companies, we got more people listening. Thailand listening this morning, Hawaii listening this morning, all over the United States of America, where there might be somebody with a background in Guam and Micronesia and the Mariana Islands, and they're listening all over the place. And I can tell who's listening, where they're listening, how long they've been listening. I'd tell you what they're listening on. Are you listening on a desktop? Are you listening on a phone? What kind of phone? I can tell you what kind of phone people are listening. This is how much data that we can get in there.
It's scaring me, man.
It is scary. It is. This is.
You can't see what you're wearing.
This is deep state, bro. Well, they can see what we're wearing because we've got to obviously have Facebook Live, YouTube Live, ThePOINT.gu, and I can capture metrics on all of that. And so those are the things now that we take to our advertisers when they're curious about it and say, yeah, this is what we got. Well, how many does the other radio station have? I said, I don't know. Might have to ask them. I don't know. Some of them don't have that kind of streaming technology. Some people aren't using the videos. Some people aren't even using one of my favorite features And please tell me that you've gotten a car in the last couple of years, a Nissan, and it will tell you what the time and the temperature is. We got the little thing. It's RDS on the dashboard of your car, and you can do this with all of our radio stations. We can tell you, say, on Star 101 or Boss 104, we can tell you what the song is that's playing, what the temperature is going to be like, and which one of our advertisers we want you to visit today. Radio data service, whatever, RDS technology. It's very, very cool. Text into the radio, and that's how we're doing all of that stuff. But as far as an Arbitron or a Nielsen, doesn't exist out here. Yeah, which gives, as far as I'm concerned, we all bragging rights.
The Nielsen rating system.
Yeah. What's the ratings on? Oh, we're number one. We're number one. What about number one with females 16 to 75? Number one, all persons 16 to 7. People with ears. We're number one in that it's a niche demographic. People with ears on Guam. We're number one with them. We're pretty good with people with eyes as well. Anyway, 9:13 in the morning. It is Tuesday, right? Over the weekend,
Ray, all day.
Over the weekend, and I don't know when it got into my feed, but it did. And I think the reason why this got into my feed, did we not do a thing once upon a time with British phrases?
Oh yeah, bangers.
Well, bangers and mash and things like that. But we were. I mean, there's a particular phrase, and it is the dog's bollocks. And as it turns out, there's a restaurant out in the world somewhere called the Dog's Bollocks, and I have no idea how it got in my feed, but it's in my feed. Our booking system uses WhatsApp only, name, date, time, and the number of peeps. WhatsApp, and then it gives you a phone number. And then the big deal here is Mucky Mary's Full English Breakfast, and it's a yard. I don't know what that refers to. It could be anything. It's British.
Yeah.
Is it a yard?
3 feet, right?
It could be. Yes. In America, it's 3 feet. There's a meter. But only 75. I don't know whether that's dollars or what kind of currency that's listed. If it starts from 9, you can go and get a full English breakfast from 9 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what country this is, but I love it already. So I'm looking at this thing, looking at the components of the full English breakfast, and I'm here to put out a request. I'm here to put out a request. And I don't know who needs to do this, but there needs to be a local shop somewhere that makes available a full English breakfast. I'm not talking about a buffet. I'm talking about it's table service. We're coming your way, and I'd pay $25 a head for something like this because that looks like an adequate amount of food to get you started on a Saturday morning and just keep you going until Sunday night. You know what I mean?
After a hangover.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? That's got to be where
Are
this
those
stuff.
Beans in the middle, right?
They are beans. They're like pork and beans.
Man.
Okay, so let me go from there over to here. For the contents of the full English breakfast. Every once in a while, the program has got to denigrate into news, into talk. That has nothing to do with any news flow. Now, look, you want news? You want the news? Felix Camacho and Tony Ada have reached out to Mike St. Nicholas and Bree San Matanani, saying, "Can we have all of your voters?" And it looks like the answer is yes.
Can we have those?
There's the news.
Not
We're
using
done.
them anymore.
We're finished. Yeah, you guys aren't using those guys. There's a lot of them, right? I mean, there's a lot more than just the ones that voted at the primary. There's a whole bunch of people, I don't know, stayed home. The young ones, they thought there was going to be, like a boat party or booze cruise, and they didn't go. Can we get them out here on Tuesday the 8th? Okay, that, my friends, is the news. There really, literally is nothing else happening on Guam. So this makes an interesting story. Like I said, I'd like to be able to go to a restaurant here on Guam. Jeff from Pirates Cove, are you listening?
Oh,
Dave over at King's. What do you say? Could I order something like this?
Please, Mr. Alcorn.
English, traditional English breakfast. What about the Mr. Talai over at the California Pizza Kitchen? Right, opening
that's
again.
right, breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw out KFC just for fun.
You make me hungry right now, man.
KFC, Burger King, somebody has got to put this together for me. A full English breakfast, and it goes on to describe what goes inside of this stuff. So follow along as I read this to you. According to the internet, a full English breakfast needs sausages. I think everyone just goes with whatever sausages they like, but sometimes there are 2 or 3 kinds on a plate. This is also true. I've seen it that way. So you have these, you can go to Payless and buy bangers, but you can also get a couple of other, breakfast sausages that will work. Back bacon, which they say isn't regular bacon. I don't know about that, which is made from pork belly. Back bacon is bacon that includes a little bit of the loin, kind of like a super thin pork chop, but smoked. Oh, I see where this is going. It's the kind of bacon doesn't really get crispy. Eggs, pretty straightforward. It says all of the English plates have sunny side up eggs. There are tomatoes in there. The guys cut in half along the equator, seared in a pan, seasoned with salt and pepper. Super basic. They aren't really cooked. You got some color on the plate and a little bit of a mush in the tomato. Mushrooms. Take it or leave it? I'd take it. I like mushrooms. You can cook them up and spice them up any way you want to. I'd soak them in a little bit of vinegar.
So good.
Some balsamic. Oh, balsamic, some butter. Toast. Just don't call it toast, it says, because I've seen some internet fights break out about the bread. You cannot just put it in a toaster and call it a day. Apparently, the bread has to be fried, either butter or oil. And since this looks like heart attack, tack stuff, I'd say butter. Beans. You have to have beans. I mean, we've never really had beans at breakfast, but apparently there it's a classic. They go for Heinz because that's what they do in England because their teal cans are just too cute. And then that's basically it. You just put all of that stuff together, and there is your English breakfast. And I'm telling you, it looks like a lot of food, but it looks like a lot of food that doesn't look like it would cost a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
75
PHP.
I don't know what the 75
Philippine pesos rate.
It could be. I don't know where this dog's bollocks place is, but I'd like to find out. And frankly, I'm just having a good time saying dog's bollocks on the radio. I'm going to presume that's a good thing. I do have a couple of friends of British, whatever descent, who will let me know one way or the other.
Nancy boys.
No, they're not Nancy. These are like they're like Royal Marine kind. Yeah, they're like real men. All right, who's playing around on the machine here this morning? Who have I been ignoring over the last couple of hours? Joe Takai, Jay Farron, Lena McDonough, Tony Uggan, there's Barbara Sablon, Randy Montanotnia, Lonnie Solis is hanging out, Carl Meyer. From the humidity and heat of Saipan to dry sauna overnight, regardless, enjoying the cool AC and the suds over at the Elks. I appreciate the recommendation. Do they have an English breakfast over at the Elks? You'd think with a name like the Elks, you'd be able to get something fattening. Tommy Bernardo, Joe Takai, Donna D, Elaine Duenas Udzoa, Harvey Egna. Oh, this goes back to when I was talking with Daphne. He says, Daphne, does RevTax ever answer the phone? Well, there's a call center. But according to, again, Harvey, the call center is a joke. Driver's license line is crazy.
Where is it, in the PI or the Philippines?
Who have you called? In the government of Guam. Where you got to pick up on the first ring. Anybody?
Not even 911, Ray.
There used to be a time where there was a person. But now they've got a machine, and they just kind of let it go to the machine. James Itokazu online. And another good question from Harvey Egna. Why not Saturday DMV by appointment? I know that for a while, before COVID, if you wanted to get a certain kind of like a truck driver's license or something like that, they would accommodate you. There was a guy that would help you through that on Saturdays. Dennis Benzer. Jerome McDonough, Ellen Leon Guerrero says, get with the rest of the world and go online. Don't we have a technology or office or something? Get with them to figure things out. No, we used to. There was the Bureau of Information Technology in the government of Guam, and it's like the Bureau of Women's Affairs. You know, where we got 5 or 6 figure salary, maybe some travel, and no expectations for any results whatsoever. They had. Once upon a time, and it was one of those things. Will Castro actually put this together. He did a good job with it, but for whatever reason, they did not maintain it. And it was basically a Guam app, And what you could do with it was it had all of the data that the land management computers had. So you would be able to, as an example, you ever see these things in a newspaper, foreclosure notices, or somebody puts an ad, they want to open a bar and they give you the lot number. They'll give you the designation in lot numbers. And what you could do is you could take that information, plug it into the app, and it would take you on a map exactly to where that place was on Guam. And I thought, this is amazing. This saved people trips to the Department of Land Management, give them information right there, literally at the palm of their hands. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what bill didn't get paid. And this is something I can't even blame Lou on, because it seems to me it went south maybe late in the Eddy administration. But it was supremely useful, which meant, of course, it couldn't last. Of course, this is way too valuable to be allowed to exist on Guam. And so something happened. Now, I actually opened up the phone that I had that app on, and it didn't take me. First of all, it took me somewhere. But it did not take me to Land Management's data dump where I could find all of that information on. It took me to, you'll laugh because you'll say, why are you complaining, Ray? But it took me to a variety of Asian pornography sites.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, that's what I kind of thought. But
how do I get on that?
I didn't write anything down. I did not do any screen caps. So here's the thing. Whoever is in charge of that over at the Bureau of Information Technology, or whoever it was that put this together, you have to shut the app down. You have to shut the app. The app still exists out there on computers, and you need to go and kill that app. There's got to be a way that you can do that through your app stores or whatever your providers are, and let them know that they can't let that thing run anymore, because it literally has been taken over. A GovGuam app has been taken over by an Asian pornography site. You're waiting for me to drop some more science here, aren't you? You're waiting. Come on, Gibson. I know that there's more information out there. So you got that. Use the rev tax. What? Wait. There's more. Greg Fausto says still here listening. That's good. Rev tax directory. If it's a 635-7 number, they will answer. Mel Barnes online. Phil Letty II. Dennis says, don't burn the meat. Hi, Jenna Joe, Mika, Rosa Bell, and John Savaris. Hey, Biba, John Savaris.
Oh, wait. Biba.
No, John didn't make it.
Oh, man.
I don't think John made it.
Sad.
Because he was on that list. He was on the... it's the We're Democrats, but here's Democrats we hate list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was on that.
It was the blackout.
Then they tried to put him back out, and I think the damage was already done.
Miss you, John.
Bowling Alley Special Bangers and Mashes, Colin Clark. Keto Adonis Mendiola is there. Hear about the Taiwan billion-dollar arms deal with the USA already. Yeah, we can't drink water in Missouri. Tom Mendiola, Lealoha Moylan Alston is there. Wilson Tan, Big Sister Shelley. Zihao Chu is watching, and I see that name, and I'm trying desperately not to connect that with any of the guys
that
have been coming in on boats. Heidi Fleming and Rose Pacini, Joey Toves. Colin, is there a FAR 135 charter flight to Rota, Saipan, and Tinian? The answer is I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have seen that while I was talking with what's his name. Shelley says, buy musubi at 7-Eleven in Narita. And Renee Ung watching the program. Thank you very much. I'm here,
baby.
I'm here, and I'm really glad you're there. 9:25 on the Ray Gibson Show, and Dr. Ron McNitch on the line. Imagine that. Good morning, Doc. Welcome to Tuesday.
Hey, happy day, Ray. Happy day, Guam.
So I'm a little bit confused about something. Maybe you can help me.
Yeah.
So the Guam Daily Post kicked out a whole bunch of contributors, and they replaced them with senators. I thought they were going for, like, people that were marginalized and didn't have a voice in the community. Closest thing to it is Clint Rigel, who can actually speak for the members of the Micronesian community here on Guam. So A+ on that one. But, wow, really, guys? He kicked out guys like McNitch and Lee Weber, et cetera. Where's Jerry Roberts with the work zone? What's going on?
Yeah, I like the Guam Post. I like having two newspapers in this town. I think it's healthy to have two newspapers. But in general...
But only one good talk radio station, right? You only need the one. But Phil letting me know, John Savaris made it. So Biba. Sorry about that.
Hey, what's up, Phil?
You know who I'm thinking of is not John Savaris, it's John Ananich.
Oh, yeah.
John
yeah.
Ananich did not make the primary.
That's our guy, too, man.
So, but the other thing is PDN, thanks very much, Ron McNinch. PDN doing more election reflection. Where were the voters? Highest turnout was, according to their headline here, in Agana Heights, and the lowest was up in Dededo. At this point, does it make any difference at all?
Not for the primary. We'll have to look at the general. And I think that the voting was at least partially depressed by a number of factors, the weather, and also there are a lot of new voters who hadn't voted before. And so they didn't get the memo on they should vote in the primary, I guess.
Could be a lot of reasons. The motor voter thing that maybe had artificially increased the number of potential voters out there that made it look like we've got so many of these new guys in here just by comparison relative to what it would normally have been had we not done the motor vehicle registration. Then we've got higher percentages of people that look like they stayed away. These are all the people that got caught in the in motor vehicle registration that wouldn't normally say yes because they don't want to show up to jury duty.
Yeah, that's like getting that free download from YouTube or something. Gosh, I don't know if that happened to you. It totally ruined all of my playlists on iPhone.
Yeah, I haven't had a playlist on iPhone in forever. I don't even know what that technology is for. I have these Case Logic libraries at my house with CDs and DVDs on the inside, and I don't know that I have anything to play them on anymore. And then my buddy Will, bragging on WhatsApp this morning, he just got his LP player in. The guy bought himself a record player.
Yeah, that's the classic, is to have an LP.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to like records. I used to like the art on LP records too.
There was something about sitting around with your big fat, because they only made big fat headphones in the 1970s. These things were about the size of pots and pans on the side of your head, and listening to the record while you were reading the liner notes on the albums. Maybe one of the best liner note albums that I recall was Elton John's Captain Fantastic and Brown Dirt Cowboy album. Double album, lots and lots of artwork, multiple sides of arts, and all kinds of inserts that went into the inside of it. Best insert maybe of all time was Cheech and Chong's Big Bamboo album with the big rolling paper. You remember that, Real Joe?
I have it, Ray.
Do you have it?
Not the paper anymore.
Nobody has the paper anymore. Everybody tried to smoke. Everybody tried to smoke. We did. We had sent somebody to Golden Island Music and saw old hippie Bill and said, "Do you have any copies of the Big Bamboo album?" He says, "I've got them right here, ready for you to go." I said, "Do you have any dope that we can fill that with?" And I can't tell the rest of that story. Anyway, 9:29 in the morning. So you got that going. The big piece of political gossip that we've been playing around with here pretty much over the last couple of days. This started bubbling up on Thursday, Friday, when that image of Governor Camacho and Tony Ada with Congressman Mike Sinicolas started. I don't want to say it leaked out because this is the biggest zit popping leak there ever was in the history of Guam politics. Almost immediately that picture was out, went viral for Guam, and everybody in the world saw exactly what the possibilities were if Mike Sinicolas did not go and on his knees to the Republicans, or I'm sorry, to the Democrat Party of Lou, and hand over his voters.
Right. Yeah, it's always that's what the game always is the jolted side or the losing side often will realign in the opposite direction. So, yeah, it's a very, very normal function in Guam politics.
So does it make a difference? I'll go back to that question here. We don't know how large the Camacho Ada army is. We know that Lou and Josh have got, they've got some decent numbers in the primary. Arguably, that's going to translate into some bigger numbers into the general when more people, we believe, go out to vote. But taking Mike's numbers and adding them on top to what Felix and Tony have, is that going to be good enough for Felix and Tony to take Adelup back? Yeah,
and I don't think that it's an even transfer either. I think that you don't capture all of those numbers, and or even we don't know what proportion of those numbers will even translate into that kind of effect.
All right. So at this point, this is just, it's speculation. It's guys that are going to be pouring over data like the guys over at the PDN will. There this many people indebted, and this many people in Agana Heights, and this many people that didn't do this, that, or the other, and try to come up with some kind of the calculus, the algorithm, where it makes a huge difference in the Camacho ad campaign. And allows them to go back over to Adelup, or maybe it's already mathematics that they've already done with Lou and Josh, and the conclusion is the same. 4 gone, they get Adelup for another 4 years.
Yeah, and these are never linear relationships. That is, it's not like it'll automatically track all the way through to November in a straight line. These things will go up and down and sideways on a regular basis. We put it down to a 2 to 3 day cycle for switching, people switching their ideas, and people will switch for governor 7 to 9 times sometimes in that undefined category. So there's a lot of back and forth.
So what's going to make the difference? I mean, Lou's got a record, good or bad. She's got a record that she can run on as the incumbent. Felix has got his record from his 8 years over at the governor's office, and then you add in the gaggle of pissed off Mike and Bree voters that might be able to contribute or not, and just say, well, we had our shot in the primary. After this, we're staying home.
Right, and Felix has been out of office for 12 years. And that's usually sufficient time that people cool down a little bit in terms of, people will always be irritated at a sitting governor in varying degrees because you cannot be a leader on Guam and not make people angry at you. I mean, that's part of the game. And so reconciling that normal tension people have with you becomes a lot easier over time. And so Felix has been kind of out of sight, out of mind for a while, and that might have been to his advantage.
Felix has also a lot more in almost declaratory ways since he's decided to come back into the game. He has brought with him, for lack of a better word or name, Jesus. I don't know that he has made any public statements since he's launched the campaign where he has not invoked the Bible, quoted gospel, things like that. Do you suppose, is it possible that resonates with a number of people that say, here's a guy who's willing to humble himself before God and lay out the scriptures and use that as a basis for how he will govern? Is it possible that resonates with a number of people that are going, maybe there does need to be a little more of that kind of thing?
Right, and I think that a lot of the stuff going on now, particularly in the U.S. mainland, related to churches and religion and things like that.
Well, abortion as an example,
right?
Of topics that are related to that. I mean, it's impossible to walk away from the strong moral convictions of the pro-lifers. And many of them are also Bible-carrying Second Amendment guys. Is he? I guess what I'm asking is he barking up the right tree?
I don't know. I think that certainly that message rings with some people. I just don't know the levels.
I know how we'll find out. You know how we're going to find out? If Lou and Josh start spouting scripture at their events. If maybe an ad or two, or a little all-in ad with the John 1, whatever.
Yeah, I liked the Lincoln dinner the other night, and I did hear him speak in public, and I think that his message was appreciated by a lot of people in the room. So certainly among the Republicans, it resonates. But yeah, we'll have to measure it. I just don't know, Ray.
How do we measure something like that? What's the Q&A that you ask?
Well, a lot of this is related to how people feel about their kids. They worry about their kids, and religion is one of the common entree items that you can talk to your kids about in terms of belief and in terms of faith. And so, and a lot of times, religion is one of those hereditary kinds of cultural or social effects. And so that's a little bit of what this is that when you hear politicians, particularly having religious messages, often it involves they're going after a demographic that has children.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's quite a number of people on Guam with children, so I don't know. I've got a feeling there's his faith has obviously gotten much stronger in the years that he has left office, and he's a lot more comfortable and a lot easier versed. I mean, it's not one of those things he looks up. I mean, he is able to quote the scripture quite readily these days, and so I've got to believe that is all very, very sincere. And I would like to think that there's that sincerity counts for a lot more in a kind of a jaded world that we live in, where everybody's looking for one kind of truth or another, and there right in front of us is the truth. If you get it.
Sure. Ray, do you have a favorite scripture?
Do I have a favorite scripture? No, I know that I'm not strong in the faith like he is. There might be a couple of my favorite places in the Bible. I always dug the Adam and Eve story. I always liked the story, the tales of the Noah and the ark. Because remember when Noah started building the ark, it wasn't raining yet, and everybody gave him a hard time about that. And so I kind of always looked at that as inspiration to. While everybody is running in one direction, I kind of wanted to walk in the other direction and see what was going on. And I think that's an important point to make for planners and people that do projects, is that Noah didn't started building the ark before it started raining, which is how we need to define our preparations and our disaster plans. Hey, I got to run. I got Frenchie on the line. He wants to talk religion too.
Sounds great. John 4:44. Prophets are never loved in their own lands.
Wait, John 4:44. 4:44. Okay. Story of the Giants, says James Howard. I don't know what that means. Which Giants?
David and Goliath.
Is it David and Goliath? I always thought that was kind of cool too. Because we got our sling stones here, and they have the sling stones in the Bible. 9:38 in the morning. 888-8255. 888-TALK. If I was Jesus, that's what I would do, says Dave Rowley. Carlin is reminding me like I'm a Udu and I need reminding, and I am, and I do. He says, don't forget the Frank Uggan supporters that are out there.
Oh, the Frank Uggan support.
Yes. So you know why? You know why? Because the only picture that I have doesn't have all four of them together. I think this needs to be mandatory. I don't know when he's coming back to Guam, but I think that's one of the things that we have to do. If for no other reason, my dear people of Guam, if for no other reason, just because it's going to trigger people over at Adelup. In fact, we ought to just say that there's a picture floating around, hasn't been released yet, of all four of them together prior to the primary election.
Yeah.
All four of them prior to the primary election, and just kind of looking at each other, a four-way handshake, you know what I mean? Like we do with like the Nobel Prizes. Yeah. Frenchie knows what I'm talking about. Buenos Zen, have a day, Frenchie.
Bonjour, Monsieur Ray. Comment ça va?
Je te suis le tour de soir. Coupez-moi de fromage. Pull my finger, Frenchie.
Your French is getting better. I don't care what she said about you, but you're doing better every day.
One of my favorite promotions, and I think you'll remember the guy. He worked over at the Hyatt. Was one of the either F&B managers or GMs over at the Hyatt. We designed a promotion. It was a Valentine's Day promotion, and we mixed up a bunch of phrases. Some of them were artful and literally the most romantic things that you could have ever imagined, and the other were recipes. French food recipes.
Well, that's also very, very, very romantic.
Yeah. So
recipes to the right person is extremely romantic.
I believe you. So we played the phrase on the radio, and then we get a caller and had to tell us whether they thought it was a romantic phrase in French or whether it was a recipe for, I don't know, fromage and things like that. 9:41. What you talking? Did you want to chime in on my line of thinking that I'm on, this little path that I'm on?
A little bit.
Go ahead.
And, especially in relation of what I had called last week, which was I didn't know basically, if Michael would basically jump in the fray by not going with the Democrats, and then we knew that he had refused to sign the endorsement 4 years ago.
Correct.
But what I didn't have my finger on the pulse totally was the level of animosity that there is between Lou and Mike. Lou hates Mike. I mean, she really profoundly despises him. And then now she needs him, and it's kind of a friendly return from Mike, who basically knows a lot of things he has never talked about, and so I didn't think he would cross the Rubicon on this one, but apparently he has, and then I don't know where it's gonna go, but it's very, very interesting. I know from my parish and some other places I'm watching where there are a lot of lifelong Democrats that cannot stand Lou, specifically because of her stand on life, but also because
you can say abortion on this show. Is it pretty clear?
Yeah,
that this is not a pro-life administration.
It's early in the morning, so I don't want to get too radical yet. I'm waiting to be with Bob in the afternoon.
That's fine.
But that's very interesting. I think it's going to be... And then you mentioned, of course, Frank Agun, which, was the victim of a lot of nasty fake campaign online and so on. And so what I see is that Lou, during her administration, has got a hold on the levers of the power, but really doesn't actually, I think she broke the Democratic Party on Guam, and that she is unable, because of her own personality, her spite, and her very arrogant, aggressive attitude, she hasn't been able to make peace between the different parties that there is on the island. And basically what we are seeing happening in the Democrats right now is exactly what happened with the Republican, with the Camacho versus Ada and so on for so many years. And it could have long-term consequences for the Democrats on the island. I'm not quite sure yet, but it definitely looks, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. I think it must be a duck.
Yeah. We're clearly marching into a time where the consolidation of voters and what I want to say feels like fringy voters. I don't know how strong the Camacho Ada machine is right now. I know they've got the backing, as an example, obviously, of some of the other big shots of the Republican Party. You got your Kaleo Moylan's in there. You've got your Eddie Bazacalvos, Joe Ada, people that have actually held high office for a number of years in the Republican Party, and the majority of leadership around here that has been Republican since I've been a young voter. And then adding to that Frank Uggan's votes. And you'll recall that Frank Uggan never had a hard time getting a vote when he was running for senator. He's still, I think, a political force to be reckoned with. There's still a lot of people that might not be as angry as some are. I think there's a lot of people that are upset. He's never been able to really find his feet in the party. He ran as a lieutenant governor with former Governor Gutierrez, ran as a lieutenant governor candidate with Uncle Robert. Neither one of those were sufficient to get him the appropriate number of votes. But still in all, easy vote getter, easy name to remember. You got Mike Sinicolas. So all of those fringes together, are they going to be able to beat Lou and Josh as the incumbents? Will they be able to beat Lou and Josh with the backing of others, greats in the Democrat Party, including my Uncle Robert, former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, everybody's favorite Pinoy boy with Dennis Rodriguez, D-Rod?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. You mentioned Dededo. Dededo are very low turnout. Dededo is the Manila of Guam. And it's going to be very interesting to see the Filipino vote on that one, because I don't think Rodriguez is bringing too much. A lot of people see him as a turncoat, and a lot of Filipinos do not like him.
Well, did they get the endorsement from the church, Iglesia de Cristo? Do we know?
I do not recall, but that's something that's very interesting to look at.
Oh,
but,
well, I mean, cult is a very strong word, but there are a lot of people for whom they get their marching orders on Thursdays and Sundays, and that's who they go out and vote for. It's certainly done in big numbers in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, that's one thing the Catholic Church is not doing, and I wrote an article in the Jungle talking about that and the lack of leadership on the Catholic Church side, especially since the Archbishop won't be back until December, probably to notify us that he's retiring. It's going to be interesting to see if some of the parish leaders decide to say the heck with it.
Do it.
Because
do it. If it weren't for the laity, nothing would get done around here. And I remember it felt like we were quaking at the noise of the Department of Public Health and Social Services. You know me, I'm not a regular church going guy, but when it became very, very clear that the government was bullying the church into closing the doors at the parishes or jumping through ridiculous hoops in order to continue to have the fellowship of the High Catholic Mass, do this crap in parking lots and on speakers, and it seemed like everybody it felt like the church would not defend itself, and it came down to, I think you were there when we were finally able to get it was almost a protest outside the church as the Mass was being celebrated inside. But the doors were closed and locked to the flock, and we were all outside.
Yeah, well, that's one thing.
And I kept going, "What are you guys?" I wanted the Catholics to fight like the guys over at Calvary.
Well, that's true, but the lack of leadership is very important, and the other thing that happened and that very few people notice is that Lou, a lot of the cadre around Lou are part of the neo-catechumenal way. And so she has that sector voting en bloc for her.
Yeah, but wait. That's Felix's troops.
Well, not automatically. Not automatically. Because a lot of the leaders are working for Lou, with Lou, and also at the Bank of Guam. So there is a lot of very, how would you say that?
Gonna need one of those Gantt charts here. Which church is going to be working with who, and who's got the
exactly. And that's why I think there was a certain movement within the church that was trying to sideline the church and keep the church quiet. Because if the church is quiet, Lou wins. If the church is finally starting to say, hey, don't back up the biggest child killer promotion on island, which is Lou, then she's gonna have a problem. But it has not happened so far.
I've heard you on Uncle Bob's show in the afternoon talking about this, and many's, Jose among them, included, that were lamenting the idea that there is so much of this going on. And if there was ever a time where we needed somebody like Archbishop Felix Berto Flores, or I'll take you back even further than that, where the church needed somebody like a Father Duenas to come forward and provide the leadership, I think now is the time.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, and I forgot to mention this morning when you in the show you were talking about Best Buy not shipping to the island.
I never said that.
No, that was your
that was Jerry Roberts. But apparently there are ways to get something out of Best Buy's warehouses.
Okay, so let me tell you the official position now. As you know, my better half is a VP at Best Buy. So, but the thing is, all the shipping comes from Hawaii, and they only ship to Guam items that are not bigger than a computer or something like that. So if you want anything related to computers, cameras, anything related to programs and things like that, you can do it, but they don't ship TVs, a fridge, and other large items. It is not that.
I'll keep that in mind.
And it's shipped from Oahu, basically. So it's actually pretty fast. I've got some stuff in 3 days.
Huh.
You know.
Well, like I said, I'll keep that in mind. I'm trying not to spend any money on things I don't necessarily need right now. I feel like I've got to set money aside for some coming hard times. 10 away from the top of the hour. Frenchie, I've got to run. We've got to take a real quick break. I'll come back with Jack in a sec.
Half a day. This is Clara Manglania from Security Title. A power of attorney can be a useful tool in a real estate transaction, but if abused, it can result in devastating loss. Choosing your representative should be done with the utmost care and should be very specific about the powers being granted. To mitigate loss, the team at Security Title confirms with the owner prior to using a power of attorney to sell the property. Each transaction is unique. Let the professionals at Security Title use our experience to facilitate a secure closing. We are here to help.
Is your business ready for digital transformation? The latest Wi-Fi technology is here, and it's Docomo Pacific's WorkPass, powered by Plume. WorkPass unlocks connectivity, productivity, and security tools all in the palm of your hand. Access features like adaptive Wi-Fi, guest and employee networks, evolving AI security, plus so much more. To learn more about WorkPass, visit business.docomopacific.com. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Get ready to save up and chow down with Pacific Points. Now you can redeem Pacific Points for Uno Go wallet credits and enjoy huge savings on food delivery. Order from over 80 restaurants and have it delivered straight to your door. Continue earning points when you fuel up at Shell, shop at Foodies, purchase IT&E prepaid load, and pay your monthly IT&E bill. Then, get ready to claim your rewards. Learn more at PacificPoints.com. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Oh, yay. President Obama won an Emmy. Did you see this? As the outstanding narrator of Netflix's series Our National Parks. Okay, I haven't seen that one there. Obama executive produced and narrated the 5-part series. The Creative Arts Emmy Awards ceremony kicked off the 74th Emmys September 12th on NBC. Obama is now halfway to joining 17 entertainers who have what they call a EGOT, an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Obama has won 2 Grammy Awards for audiobook readings of his memoirs. Me, my mind, should much there. The Audacity of Hope and the Promised Land. Also yesterday, Obama saluted Serena Williams after what's expected to be her last pro match. And to this degree, I'll agree with the former president. Congratulations, Serena, for your heart, skill, intelligence, dedication, and grace. Few athletes have inspired more people both in and beyond their sports. You know, I put Serena right up there with real Joe Cruz. I think there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, never bothered to think about maybe mountain biking as some kind of aspiration or hope or dream. But
this could have been a Serena.
So the guy comes out basically with no knowledge of skill other than just how to ride a bike, and began competing and has been winning in his competitive level. So congratulations to you, real Joe. And I see a whole generation of young bikers coming up behind you. 9:54 in the morning. I don't know if I've got time for Jack and Ken, but I'm going to Jack for sure. Good morning, Jack. Welcome to the program.
Good morning there, Raymond. Don't forget, I think Obama got an Oscar for Best Actor as imitating the president, didn't he? I could have sworn. But, I was listening, and I was hoping that it's time for Mike St. Nicholas and Elgin to just say, to leave the Democrat Party, man. Just say, hey, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party left me.
Yep.
And come over to the GOP side. And, it's not a great leap. It's just what we call a Chamorro slide to the right. And, I hope he comes. He could be. Many people don't remember that Ronald Reagan started out as a Democrat. And so.
Can I take the idea and evolve it just a hair? Just a hair. Jack, you and I might identify, for lack of a better, more fitting label, as a Republican or a conservative. But I think that you and I, along with people like a Mike and a Frank, and there's countless other people, should create that third party.
Well, actually, what our local GOP party needs is a Tea Party, a top party, or even a beetle nut party, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, in the beginning of Guam's political history, find somebody like Bob Klitsky and have him, define it for you. How many people were running and how many parties for that first open election for the people of Guam?
Yeah, and the problem
there were factions all over the place.
As a voter, this thing called voter apathy, like it's our fault that the primary turned out as low as it is. I mean, looking at me and say, "Hey, it's your fault."
You apathetic voter, you?
No way. There's no voter apathy here, man. It's just disgust. We know how the game is run and played. And people ask me, "Why didn't you just go down to the Labor Day party?" I said, all my life I never participated in a socialist Marxist activity. What makes you think I'm going to do it on my close to my 60th year? I said, no, man. Just miss me with that nonsense. I mean, I'm glad you're having your celebration, but don't include me in the fray. But, my best, I guess, Bible verse would be, Calendar 5:3. It says, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" from the book of Dirty Harry, since we're quoting Bible verses here.
Okay, I didn't mean for it to go into. I didn't mean for it to go into that direction. I just want to point out that Felix Camacho's faith has clearly gotten stronger and deeper over the course of the last several years, and I think that might be attractive to a good number of people likewise people of faith, of which there are many here on Guam that would kind of like to be able to see things swing back towards that middle into a kind of truth that we could always rely on. What Sister taught us in the beginning is still the same simple truth that is true today.
Well, a lot of the things that he reasons out, you don't even need to bring religion into it. So, there was this novelette writer named Robert Fulghum, where he wrote a really pamphlet and a really best-selling pamphlet back in the 80s, said, everything I knew, I learned in kindergarten. And, that's basically the truth. And then when you examine what's going on our education system, the crest between CRT and gender is more important than developing your skills and your knowledge. I mean, it's a wonder why we don't, take heed of people that have come through this mess. And we're just sort of like repeating history.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, it's Colin Clark with a great quote here. And show me in which Bible it says that men can get pregnant. As I said, there are valuable truths to be found.
I know, but I can't forget. Sean Gumatato made that press release not just too long ago, talking about civil unions, and I think the church's main stance is that we're still against it. I know Felix isn't Catholic, but I know Tony is. And for him to, quote, both of them to quote Bibles the way they are, I mean, that's the problem.
Are you saying that they're taking too much of the buffet version of it? Where I like this one, but I don't like that one. So I'm gonna load up on pro-life if you don't mind, but not necessarily any of the other stuff, because we all got gay cousins one way or the other, right?
I know, but you need a strong foundation, and I think one of it is faith. But it also, we mustn't forget that faith and reason are not separated.
All right, I got to run on that note here. It's closing in seconds away from the Fox News. I'll see you soon, Jack. Have a great day. KUSG, I got you. Stand by now for Fox.
The sprint to November. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Labor Day, the traditional start of the home stretch of the election season. President Biden spending the holiday Monday on the campaign trail, speaking to a labor event in Milwaukee.
He's still talking a lot about these so-called MAGA